wet. We won't have any real heat until probably May or so, huh?
Yay.
Or June.
Yeah, could be. And then we get that June gloom. So in some ways, you're wanting so bad for the heat, and then when it comes, you're like, okay. After like the 2 days of that, you're like, can we go back to the fog again?
Well, hopefully we'll be outside by then.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
We were saying that last year. We were hoping to be out in the. Well, you know, my Sunday class we meet out, so I don't know. Well, we're actually closed now, so and I think we're probably looking at another lockdown here for a while.
Yep.
Rob, we're a new rule now.
Rob, this is Charlene. I was wondering, there was somebody that was interested in your watercolor class at Creative Arts on Monday. Is that going to be a live class inside?
Yeah, next year. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be on Zoom and live. Yeah.
So you'll be there in the classroom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a friend was asking me about that, so I will
Thank
tell
you.
her.
Yeah. Tell her to come on in. We can. Yeah, last time we started off with I think something like 5 people, and we ended up with 1 person. Just kind of. But that's even though we have another class in there, I have to do the last one on Zoom. So
Yeah.
there's no more live classes there for this year.
Hi, Rob.
Yes.
Did you see the question about the reindeers? Should we add the deers crossing road today?
I didn't see anything about reindeers. What are you talking about, reindeers?
Yeah, there's a question from one of your students kidding about the reindeers on snow.
Did somebody email me photographs?
I emailed you a photograph.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, let me
Well,
see.
you were going to close down before Christmas, and I said, we don't get to do reindeers.
Oh, were you joking?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not joking. I sent you a reference. I think that would be a great idea to add it to crossing the road we're doing. Maybe.
Yeah. Today.
Oh.
Reindeers today.
I was going to make the road into a river.
Oh, that's okay. So
That's why I had that other one.
uh-huh. That one's very small though.
I know. I didn't realize it was so small. Because I just had a bunch of Michelle's pictures on there, and I realized one was. But I don't really. I can use it, but I don't really need it.
Okay.
But did you mail me a picture? Let's see.
Yeah, we can do the reindeer drinking water.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's reindeer. Except,
I'm
well,
sorry.
we'd have to kind of make that up.
Yeah.
Which you can probably do that, but I mean other people.
Oh,
might.
sure. Yeah, just the idea.
Yeah, that'd make a nice Christmas card.
Put it in there.
Okay, I'll do that. Let me see if I can find a reference.
I mean, I see the picture. I have the picture right here that you.
Yeah, that's the crossing road. Yeah, maybe I'll do another one. Never mind.
Okay.
I can just pin it out of my mind, I think. I had a class on deers before. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You had a deer class?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a rock class, a deer class, a duckbill class. Just joking.
Okay, river.
Deer, not S, huh? My English.
All right. Let's see. That's what I was thinking anyway. Okay. Let's do our little comp here. I got us recording already, and I got a spotlight. I'm just paranoid about that nowadays. Yesterday, I didn't do it. I can't believe it. I was sitting there looking at the thing, and I thought for sure, oh yeah, right, because you looked at it, you know you hit it. And then it didn't show up, so now I'm paranoid. I have to look for it every time. I think what I have to do is just tell everyone in my class please keep me in line. I mean, I do everything else and then I don't hit the record button. What am I doing? So,
Did you hit the spotlight as well?
yeah, I have the spotlight on there, yes, right now.
Sit.
Yeah, thank you for telling me about that. I've been using it all the time now.
Down.
Now I'll mute everybody so we don't have to.
What does the spotlight do, Rob?
It puts a spotlight on me. Hey, no, it's just the same as pinning the video, but it just pins it on me, and so it doesn't matter. See, right now, if you'll notice, everybody's talking, right, but it's only showing mine. So, because I gotta be the drama queen over here. Okay, let me. Sounds like you guys all muted each other. Okay, I'm muting everyone now. So we're all muted, but if you have a question, just ask. Otherwise, we're muted. And I'm gonna put this over here. Really small.
Now, which one are you going to do, Rob?
Well, I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna do the road, but I was gonna make it into a river. But mostly it was about doing the snow. And I kind of want to arrange things a little differently. So this is just what you have to do when you're working from photographs and you see something, you can't, it's not quite right, so you just have to make it right.
Rob,
Yes.
I just sent you a photo that a friend of mine took that does have a river. You might want to look at
Really?
it. Yeah. It's
I don't have that in my inbox yet. Let's see. Let's see. You're going to change my mind here? I'm waiting here. Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah, sometimes it takes a second.
I got you. Monica Snow. Come on.
Yeah. Monica's the photographer.
All right. Well, it's a totally different light, but I can use the contours of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me download this. I have to download it. Or I could just look at it up there. I'll just leave it up there. Cool. Yeah, we'll use that. I mean, I don't like the trees around it. That's not going to work, but the river will. Okay.
Can we see it? Can we see the photo?
I guess now I have to mail it out to everyone then. Let's see.
Yeah, because it's nice to have the reference.
Oh boy, that's harder than you think.
You can send it to the.
Because I can't. Okay, wait. Hold on. Yes, I can do that. And there's the blower guy right on time.
Maybe the person who sent you the email can send it to everybody in the class.
Oh no, I got it. The problem is getting everybody's. There we go. Okay, let's copy this. I'm becoming a copy and paste specialist. And I'll just forward this. To everybody. And I'm going to give that a little time. That's now out there. Okay. And should be getting to you pretty soon. In the meantime, I'll just start off with. Let's start off with our. Little contour there. Let me zoom in on that too.
sorry for one more question. The photo that you just sent us, is that the one we're going to use?
No, we're just going to add it to it. Well, I'm using the one with the road in it, and then we're going to make that into a river.
Okay.
And I think that that Ethel's suggestion about using this river, we can use it for the contours.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So it works very, very, very good suggestion. Thank you, Ethel. Very good suggestion. Okay, so
Really
what?
pretty.
Yes? Oh. Okay, let's all mute everybody. Come on. Let's see. Okay. Let's just draw, like, for instance, I just want to make, I'm actually going to pull this mountain down to about there. Somewhere in there. And I guess the clouds up there aren't, it's up to you whether you want to put those clouds in or not. I do see if you notice, we have some trees here and some trees here, and they're sort of the same. So, well, in the sense that they take up about the same mass. All right. So we want something a little bit different than that. Let's put some of we have these two trees kind of coming off of this way. I'm going to bring them into the piece a little bit more, which means I like this mountain over here, so I'm going to bring this mountain over a little bit. See? Don't always know what I'm going to do until I do it. And I think this is, I think, you watching me go through the composing thing is a big learning experience, which is why I don't overthink this before class. I'm really inventing it right in front of you. So I do make a lot of mistakes, but I think that it's important that you see that there's a process. So, okay, we have this, I don't know what this is. Way in the background, is it a tree line, or is it I guess it doesn't really even matter. Bunch of trees back here. Sort of a tree line at the base of the mountain there. Just kind of goes across. And we have this other little tree right around here. It works very nicely. I'm not sure we need this other big tree on the end there. Because the whole idea of this was just to make this snowy scene, right? Is Michelle even there? Or is there snow there yet, Michelle? I don't know if she's there. Okay, so we have this one over there. Got this bush over here. See that classic? This is the Steelyard. Compositional type, like this.
It does snow, but this early in the season it goes pretty quick, so it's here for a day and a half. Although in some of the shade, it can be 70 degrees out, and in some of the shady areas, it's still sitting down there, and piles of snow are still melting. Isn't that funny? It's very weird.
Right, isn't that weird? Yeah. So here's the compositional framework we're using. It's called the Steelyard. In other words, this big mass over here is being balanced out by this smaller mass over here, etc., and some other stuff. And then we have the other classic sort of the road here. We'll just put it in like a road first. I'm not sure we have to put it. See how we're going right up the road? So sometimes, see how it's coming straight at us. Maybe you could do this kind of thing where you could have it like that. some people do this and they'll go like this and have it kind of going like this, which I do like. So I throw it in like that first. I know we're going to mess with the contours and everything, but I just wanted to kind of show you. So, and if you'll notice, this is the C composition. See? Looks like a C. See? That was me trying to be funny. Okay. And love the fence. I wouldn't mind a kind of more broken down kind of fence in there. It looks a little too perfect. You know, maybe we could throw in a couple little leaning things in there. Maybe this is a little flatter. Something like that. And I'm going to switch over to the other photo here. Let me see. Now I'm looking at the river photo. Whoa. And, right, so we get all these bumps. We get like rocks, you know, that, let's say we have a rock that has snow on top of it. And that's what's creating a lot of those ins and outs. So just so you know what's going on there. It's important. I mean, those things can help. But we have a, you know, a more organic looking contour. And so I'm just using the edges of that to give me my contour. That's all. Now things, let's see if this is all, would this be down here further? Oh, no, it's pretty high up there, isn't it? It's a little bit kind of, maybe even a little bit smaller than that. We'll see. Right in there, some other stuff. And you may get a little bit of reflection from that in there. See? You may get some of this stuff reflecting into here. Sometimes this is too far away to reflect. Probably the fences are a little too far away to reflect. So not too much. Even the, if you take, because the horizon line would, let's say the horizon line's approximately here. If you took this and flipped it, it would come down about here. Maybe you'd catch a little bit of this part in there. Sometimes you can cheat it a little bit and just kind of go and throw it in there. But I do stuff like that, and I'll make it really vague so you can't really see what's happening. Oh, I'll leave that in there. Just so you know. So those are some basic compositional systems, really, and they work. And you'll see them in abstraction too. Yes?
Looking at the first photo, you made a decision to not go with the background mountain range. You know, there are like two mountain ranges.
This is the background mountain range right here. What do you mean?
There seem to be two mountain ranges, or at least that's...
There's that one, and then there's the tree line in front of it. Do you see that?
Right, but then there is a very pale violet, you know. Oh, are these clouds?
Those are clouds. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. And we have some shadows on the ground. Okay, that's good. We'll make up the shadows. All right. Now, let's just start off with some some blue sky. Oh, what am I doing? Sorry. We're doing a value study here, aren't we? Sorry. I need some black here. There we go. Easily rectified. I get jump ahead of myself. All right, now I'm just gonna paint that right over the tree and everything. And if you like, if you want to put some clouds in there, you could just do this kind of thing. Doesn't have to be a really big deal. And on the mountain, because here's the thing too, on a blue sky day, when you have snow, you'll get really blue shadows. And this picture is picking them up, but we're probably gonna want to emphasize those more. So let's just hit some little shadows. Whoops, sorry. Little shadows back there first. So don't use blue. Sorry, I didn't mean to mention that. Just there we go. Here's the thing about, well, snow, because it's white, it will take on the properties, the color properties of things that are around it. So now, by the way, I'm just treating this bush like here like a wall. If you can just squint your eyes and look at it, and try not to look at the edges of it, because the edges they're so distracting because there's so much to it. If you can just look at the side of it, look, it's just a wall. It's just a wall of shadow. See, if it were literally a wall, it'd be a lot easier for you maybe to see and not get lost in all the detail. So here's what I'm doing now. I'm just taking that shadow, and because this shadow, this snow is actually bending down toward the river, we're going to get more shadows in this area. But not so much on this area because the light is coming from the left and going right. And this is all in shadow here, a little bit darker. I wouldn't say it's all in shadow, but it's pretty dark, this tree line. See, now it's pretty far away, but the shadows on snow are very light. So these shadows on the trees will, even though they're far away, they'll be darker. And then we have this bush, this big bush right here, which will have shadow on the backside. If you can think of it like a ball, like a big ball like this, and most of the shadows on this side. And it casts a shadow onto the ground over the river. river here, which I don't even think I need the photograph for, really. Let's see. Kind of in the river that you're in the photograph of the river that Ethel sent. Those are those long things. Those are reflections of the trees. Okay, so we don't have those trees, so we're not putting those reflections in. So even though it looks dark, it's really not quite as dark as you might think. It will get kind of dark under these areas, but we could cheat a couple of little shadows from back there in it. Things like that. It won't be white or anything, so I will take a little value. Yeah. There we go. A little of that into it first. And you won't get much shadow along the edges here. You'll get some little darks in there, especially this edge. You won't get much shadow on this edge because remember the light's coming like that. It's really going to hit this edge as it's bending down toward the river. It's going to hit it pretty hard. So that'll be one of your brighter areas. It's a light painting. But if we're going to keep these white in the background, I think, and if I'm going to keep this in there, if I'm going to have that reflecting some of that, we're going to probably have to get those even lighter. So that's something to make note of. And then this tree over here, I wanted some dark in the piece. I don't want it too dark, because it does have a little bit of snow on it, but we can kind of, let's see. Yeah. We can put some bushy stuff on this. We've got a couple of, see how they're right beside each other. Usually, you've probably heard me say before, I usually don't like that. I want a diagonal probably going through there. And then a bunch of little bushes around. Maybe something at the base of this. We have a couple of dark. We're gonna put fence posts in there then. Let's don't mess around. I guess if we put him in a little bit bigger, we could take a little bit of him down in there. Bigger now. Now with very light, very light, see? For some shadows. Make sure you leave enough white too. And especially on this edge, you'll have much less, because you're looking over here, you're looking that way, so you're catching more shadow on the snow. But if you look at the shadow over on this side, even in that photograph you can see it, much less shadow over here, because you're catching more light. Because you're looking, the light's coming this way and it's hitting more of this. Over here you're looking into the light, so you're catching more shadow. So over here you do get little sub shadows and things like that, but they're very light. Just little touches here and there. That's it. I guess, since it's bending down so hard, we could probably pull some of that light into this. So that'll be fun. I don't have any white. I mean, I don't think it's worth it. I'll do it on the next one. Okay. Let's move that up here. That's how I'd start. And we've got the tree line. Just put another bump in there. So we can get a little, so we can take that and just cheat it in here. So typically what happens is that you can take that right there and just flop it. Okay, so and it might come down to about here, okay? But we'll cheat it a little bit. We'll bring it up to about there. We'll just say, you know, it was like that. I was there. In my mind. Okay. And I'm just gonna make a couple little lines here letting me know that I wanna take some of this down into here. Like a little reflection, you know? Maybe some of this too. Kind of like that. These little reflections. Okay, whoops. Yeah. A little bush here, maybe a couple of little fence. Maybe we'll even pull that down a little bit of fence in there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put in some sort of bushy thing right there. And we got a painting. You don't need much. My grandma used to say, the simple paintings are always the best paintings. Never forgot that. I don't know why I didn't forget that, but it must have meant a lot to me. And she wasn't even an artist. I mean, she wasn't a painter anyway, she was a musician. She was just, I just used to think of her as like the wisest person. And even today, I think I have still never met anyone that wise. Really. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Now let's put my black and white palette away here. No more you. We're going into blues now. Let's get a blue sky going here. Oh yeah. You know what's nice about this painting? We've got all these big areas where we're just gonna let it float. We're just gonna let it float and do more of that wet into wet stuff. You know what I mean. Maybe something kind of cloudish back there. I'm not gonna really get too carried away with my cloud. I just want something a little varied back there. Maybe something a little darker at the top. A little bit darker at the top. And I'm gonna go right into some of these shadows here with just straight ultramarine blue. This is ultramarine blue, by the way. Just straight ultramarine blue. Don't even try to grade it. We can always gray it. But to keep that straight blue is you only get one shot at it, really. And keep that. And then these trees line right here, I'm gonna go green. I would use the Prussian blue. And yellow, and then maybe add a little red to that, a little bit of red to gray it. But now I'm gonna really push it toward the blue side. So I have a blue green. Let's try that. Remember, these are just your mental kind of notes that you're making. We have a little white bush in there. I didn't even see it before. There's some white little trees and things back there. You can throw them in. I have to say, I like this tree over here, but I like the foliage in the photograph on the other side. Kind of that goldy color. Maybe I'll use that color. Kind of greens, and I'm gonna add greens and oranges to my green. So of course that's red, yellow, and blue, right? So make your make your green out of Prussian blue and yellow. Probably in this case I might use the cad yellow. And if you just add little pieces of red to that. My paper is acting kind of weird, like it's got oil on it or something. Oh well. I'm just looking for that. I'm seeing some orange in that tree. But it's sort of a nice little compliment to all this. You would think the tree would have more snow on it. Odd that this tree over on the right hand side in the photograph doesn't have much snow on it. So you can put some snow on there if you like. All right. And then we have this, I guess it's frost that's doing it, huh? Frost on the bushes. So I'm going into these bushes again, and I'm hitting that, again, just blue. in there. That's pretty blue. Lighter than that. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm just gonna pick it up and move it over. There's just lots of shadow on this side. And hardly any over here. But we do have the shadow on our frosted bush over there. Some cast shadow on the ground there. So I think what happens up in here in the river is you're actually looking right down into the water. So I'm just going to avoid out these little sections. There we go. It's a little brown, so you're looking down into the water. But then you do get a little bit of sky in there. And hit a little bit of blue in there. Yeah. And then you get these sort of mountain reflections we were going to put in. A couple of these. Some of the shadow. And we've got our little fence post. Throw some of that down in there. Maybe a couple little, since I have it on my brush. And some very light shadows over here. A little bit of this shadow right here in our reflection. And then on the light of the snow, you want very, very little. And I know you don't really see it in the photograph. The cameras don't really capture the warmth of the light on the snow. And but there would be a little bit of warm light on the snow. And it's very subtle. You know, it's like that. You can barely see it, but it makes a difference. Just hint a little bit of that around. Now the snow in the reflection won't be as bright as the snow is normally. So what I'll do is, well, it's hard to do this while it's all wet. Because what happens is that it's not a perfect reflection, and it is running. So you will take on a little. Now, so what I'm going to do here is just a glaze like this. See how light that is? I'm going to put this glaze over the whole thing. That should bring it together. A little more reflective. And we're ready to get going. Last week we threw it all down, all that wet into wet, and you guys like that, even though it's kind of crazy, right? Let me put this over here. All right. Whoops. I'm going to zoom that out. Zoom in. All right. Just determine how much sky you want, how much kind of mountain you want to show. I'm not 100% going by those mountains. If you wanted to paint sort of a portrait of those mountains, I noticed that they do kind of come up like this and down, and it's kind of up to you. And then I noticed I wanted my trees more in this area, so maybe I'll move that mountain over a little bit. Okay. A couple of diagonals in there. That kind of thing. With this big bush in front of it. And there's a little tree line in front of that in the background. And if you do want to include some of those other little bushy trees back there, please do. So around here we have the big one. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll just lay out a couple of gesture lines. Like for instance, I want this to come to around there. Maybe this one to come around to there. So that at least, without any detail in it, kind of gives me a pathway. Where's that other photo? Right. And then just little switchbacks is what happens. You get things going in and things that go over, and they overlap it. Things go in and things kind of go over. The little rocks and things that stick out on the side. So if you notice, I got I got like a 1, 2, 3. They're very much kind of the same. So that's when I go ahead and I give it another try. Just recognize that that kind of thing is going to happen. Repeating forms, they just tend to irritate. Just break that up a little bit. Maybe bring this one back there or something. Maybe my rock formation is kind of going like that. Yeah. Okay. I like that's more random. Make sure you're happy with it. Looks like this is actually coming back this way. We don't have to follow exactly what's going on back there, but you might get things going back again and little switchbacks. And again, I got the 1, 2, 3 again. You just have to know it's going to happen because it almost always happens. And then look for it and see if you don't like it. Well, that's when you make your little changes. Maybe I'll pull this side over in there. It's a big deal. This contour is a big deal because I say it is. No, I'm just joking. It's a big deal because look at it. It's a giant shape. So I like that better. Maybe we'll do that. Just cut it back in there. Why not? Okay, and then it looks like we sort of have this fence back of the whole thing. Some little fence posts. I just decided to use kind of beat up old fence posts. Sometimes I like how they get all rickety too, and you'll see one broken down like that. It was supposed to be across the top or something. Maybe I'll make this one a little bit nicer. And maybe it's bending back. Maybe the tree back here is really kind of pushing it back. And over here, get them going in different directions. There's just something about old, I love these ranchers love their old fences too. And they don't try to put a new piece of fence in there if they can. They'll keep using the old one. Not only because they're trying to get as much use out of it as they can, but because it looks good. It's an aesthetic. They're really, it's funny. You would think cowboys, what do they know about aesthetics? They're totally into their aesthetic. All right. They're just people. Okay. Oops, here we go, sorry. I've known a lot of cowboys. I have a lot of cowboys in my family. Some in Idaho. I've got my uncle breaks horses. He still does. He's in his 70s. He's still, people flying. He's like, they talk about the horse whisperer. I watch that movie and I go, yeah, that's my uncle. Except my uncle has way more character and has a way better stories. Oh my gosh. He's such a great storyteller. I mean, he should have been an actor. He's so funny. He's one of those people that you get around him and they're going to say something funny, or they're going to harass you a little bit. So they give you that look, and you're like, oh, here it comes. And it's just funny. He's great. He's the one that always. I probably said this before, but he always tells me, Rob, make sure when you're outside, always wear a long sleeve shirts and button those collars, button those cuffs. You don't want to be getting any of that skin cancer. Yeah, man, he's got all these great stories. And there'd be little shadows on the ground too. Remember those? Might even be one here. We'll try to fit those down into there. And then I'm just gonna lightly just let myself know that there's gonna be shadows. I'm sorry, little reflections. So if this is going that way, it's gonna reflect that way. If this is going that way, it reflect that way. Did you guys hear that? Fighting cats. I just heard some fighting cats back here. It's exciting around here, let me tell you. In my little home office, we had the blower. You guys probably just heard him. I hope you didn't, but I never know how loud that is to you guys. But man, I'm telling you. Okay. I think, is that about it? I think we're pretty done there. Let's get down to business. You're gonna need a lot of ultramarine blue. Probably not very much actually. It's not, on a light painting you don't use as much paint. But, oh yes, we're gonna put in the ultramarine blue. And you know what? Let's just get it wet into wet. You know what? Oh, I didn't wet down my surface like I did last time, huh? Let's just do that. I'll use just a big brush. Why not? I'm gonna wet it all down. And some people just spray it like this. Well, for some reason, it looks like my pencils, this pencil's sort of water soluble. How weird is that? Not supposed to be. That's going to require me to break out the Ethel clamp. Still using your clamps, Ethel. Can you believe it after all this time? And let's see, what have we got? Not gonna reach it. That's gonna have to be it right there. Okay. Won't matter. See, I'm just putting that blue over everything. That's gonna really work. But what I want to do is that for my light areas, like over here, I'm just gonna really tag out. I'm just gonna really pull out where I want a really bright white. For most of everything else, I won't need it. That blue's just getting everywhere. That could really work. See, I had no idea that was going to happen. I notice when I do wet into wet too, usually all these accidents happen. And usually for the better. What we can do here is just very lightly. Well, no, I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself here. Let's get more of that blue in there. Now I'm using the big Henry brush here. Whoops, everything's sliding off. I don't know why. Oh, because of those clamps. Okay. There we go. Paint right over the tree. on the shadow side of that. You got the little shadow side of this bush over here. You know, you can just hit little dots of it in there, especially along this side here. Yeah. Look, it's going to leak right into the reflection. See, I didn't even prepare for that, and it's just wonderful. All right. Little guys over here, they're a little stiff because I dried that area. No problem. I'll just take some stuff over there. I'm going to go ahead and throw in some of these colors in the tree now. Like oranges and greens. Just make your yellow, make your green out of yellow and blue. Like cat yellow and Prussian blue. And then throw in a little bit of cat red in there. So what we got there. Ooh, that's going to be really leaky. I feel like just leaving it alone, letting it do its own thing today, instead of really trying to control it. You wouldn't believe how much control you look at that. We're having a party now. There's no going back. Bring them all together. I like to see a little bit of sky through there, even though it probably won't. This will be kind of a background residue. It's already doing its job. Stuff over there. And you know, the river's a little bit browner, I think. I mean, I don't even know. Could be anything we want it to be. I'm just going to go ahead and throw in the river first, right over the reflections. Not too dark yet. We'll add some darky things later. Look how fast that piece. Now what I'm doing is I'm really drying this off. And dry off my brush here a little bit like that. Getting all the paint out. And I'm just going to kind of take off like that, here and here. Should have taken off more than that. Some of them take off more than others. There's always the good old rag. There we go. Because these will be reflecting down into the water a little bit. Like that. And then we have our mountain reflecting into the water. I'll take a little bit of that. I'll just leave it like that for now. And I'm going to come back into this edge here a little bit. That's where you're going to find little darks happening. A little bit along those edges.
Rob, are you
Yes.
using ultramarine blue, or are you using the Prussian blue for those little edges?
I'm using kind of a brown right here on the edge right there.
Oh, it looks
Yeah.
blue.
I'm just taking the same color in and a little bit dark, just a touch darker. It's kind of just blending right in, but don't worry about getting it too dark. We're going to come back and hit those later. Yeah. It's no biggie. Even along some of this, just kind of, just gonna, just making that a little reflective along the edge there, right there. And what else? Oh, we have our tree line in the back here. Again, Prussian blue, and then red, cad red, let's see what that looks like. Just Prussian blue and cad red. I mean, it's a little gray. I don't mind that, but maybe a little bit of, I'm going to put a little bit more blue in it. Wow. Just let the water do the work. See how it wants to? It's going to take it and run it all over the place. Now you have to remember the picture that we're looking at of the river picture is really dark. And that does not have a direct light source on it, plus it's overcast and surrounded by all these dark trees. So that's not going to be the kind of river that we're going to want. I'm only using it for the contours, just so you know. So if you're looking at that going, God, that's kind of a dark river. Why is Rob painting it so light? That's why. Okay. And what else? Just gonna hit, just use that little dark I had back there. I'm just tapping a couple at the base. Maybe I could hit a couple in here too. It's still wet. See, the wet just dissipates it. Just touching a little bit in there. There's a little shadow on this little tree back there too. Way back there. I never put any clouds in there. I always put clouds in there, huh? I wonder what would happen if I did it like this. Just drip some water on there and see what happens. No, but it doesn't want to do it. Oh, it's doing something. Let's see. No, that's okay. Little shadow being cast from this bush over. Little shadows from these guys on the ground, like that. Just reinforcing some of those. Getting kind of warpy over here. I know what I gotta do.
Bob, can I ask a question about the colors?
Yeah.
The last blue that you use for the shadows, that's not ultramarine, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, this is just the way it is. With the clamps and all that. All right, how we doing back here? So we got this thing's just sliding all over the place, and I wouldn't normally mind, but it's because it's metal on plastic and it just won't stay still. Slickery. I've got these big things back here. Let's see. Supposed to keep it. There we go. Won't move. Okay. Sorry, it just slips all over the place. I can't. It's like, wow. Okay. That should do it. Okay, well, we're getting pretty dry here now. Okay. So, go for some shadows on the mountain. Ultramarine blue. Along here. And see, it's still moist. So those won't be as hard of edges as you might think, but there we go. They'll still be relatively hard edges. Another one in here. Anything else you want to do? A little dark. Isn't it? If you squint your eyes and look at the shadows on the mountain, you would think that they would have to be dark. I mean, lighter because they're so far away than the ones up in the foreground. But they're easily as dark as maybe the darker shadows right under this bush. I mean, wow, maybe not that dark, but they're pretty dark. Just kind of shows. Yeah, that's why painting white snow can really throw people, or also painting the white foam on waves and things like that when you're out at the beach. It can be a little tricky because you're just not used to painting white. You know, you're used to there being color and everything. It doesn't have much color of its own. I love this really organic edge I got for the little tree line. That's fun. And I'm just using kind of a blue-gray. Like if you know what Payne's gray looks like, it looks a lot like Payne's gray. You know, honestly, I have a bunch of grays right here. You know, red, yellow, and blue, and then add a lot of blue to it. That's how I got it. I basically just have a pool of gray and I just added a bunch of blue to it. Now, where I have stiff edges, I might just, like in here, I might just wet those edges a little bit. Yeah. Just wet them. And they'll do exactly what the background's doing. Sometimes you want a stiffer edge, a little definition. I should say harder edge, that's what I mean. couple little branches in there. Little guy back there. A little dark though for that far away. I mean, I didn't even see it in the early one, so I'm not going to bother putting too much definition into it. Maybe this one up here. Switching to the rabbit combination brush. See if that makes a difference. This one's a little drier. Yeah, I like this brush for doing branches. Nice kind of little green, like green-gray things happening in there. Kind of like this. Maybe I'll get that a little bit wetter. And then I'll add a little water to it just so they move around and not so stiff. And this one has a little water on it. There. Just don't want the edges to be too stiff on that. There's these white bushes in the photograph back there. I don't know why I didn't put those in. Well, I guess I was thinking that the tree line would continue all the way through. Oh well. I think in my little comp I had it stopped about here. So whatever. I think it's fine. And if it isn't fine, maybe I'll put a little tree or something back there. I don't know. There's always a solution. Okay. I'm going to make me a brown by just red, yellow, and blue. And adding more yellow and red to it so it gets a little bit, because the brown is just a dirty orange, a dark, dirty orange. Let's see what I got here now. Yeah. Some of these. Might have used I don't know why I didn't use the rabbit brush for this one. Why wasn't I doing that? Let's see. Because I like what I got out of it last time. A little dry though. Huh. Red, yellow, and blue. And as you can see, my leaves in the background are just so faint when I first put them in, so they just end up sort of being just like a lay-in, they're not really the finished product. I'm gonna try some more of that red. Oh, on this one, I think I'm going to go with a little bit of magenta. Magenta and cad yellow. Make it orange that way, because it has a little more blue in it. Let's see what we're looking at here. Right. And I see a lot of that color in it. There's the greens and reds and things like that happening in too, but so now look, I'm almost dry brushing right over the wet into wet, which is a great combination. Just dry brushing right over it. See how it looks like a million little leaves? Great brush for this. I'm laying it on its side, by the way. I'm not doing it about the tip. I'm laying it on its side like this. So I've lost so much of my branches. That's just fine. Some greens in there. Got yellower on me. I'll hit a couple of those on my way to green. Okay. Come on, get green. Oh, this one's kind of blue. I'm going to throw this in there just for fun. I like that. Just play with those edges any way you like. Just take them together. A little bit of something over the ends there. And as it fades into the bush in the foreground. And if you'd like, every once in a while, what you could do is just take a branch, a darker one here and there. I'm doing this one kind of bluer. I just wanted it dark and it turned out that it was a blue. That doesn't bother me at all. They're fun to play with. And the really small ones are great too, just really small like that. I like to throw them in front of a light area. And if you want, you can even take your fingernail. I got some big ones right now. Choppers. Just have a little light in front of the dark. Take it right over. Not everywhere, just kind of skip it around, see? Just to break the area up, that's all. If it's too much, you just take a little bit of your background color and just move it over it. Maybe that. A tree that's that heavy dark on this side will really create more of a shadow on the ground. I want a little bit larger on mine. Okay. No problemo. I'm just going to throw more of a shadow on the ground here. And that shadow would go right over the water too. Maybe even over here. I like that. I think I want it to be a little bit darker. See how I went up and over the side? Because it has it's not flat, it kind of goes up the hill and then goes over, so And you could leave it all watery and hard edged like that, or you could come back and soften the edge. I think I'll go ahead and leave mine kind of hard edged. It's gonna be puddly too, because I have a lot of water in that. If it gets too much, I could just take that and just drink it up. I've got these dark fence posts. They'll all have little shadows. We could take a few of those down into the water. I'm just going to cheat a little bit. I know it would be more in there, but sometimes the water gets kind of distorted. And there's rules to painting water, but they only work when the water is absolutely perfectly flat. Because when the water starts rippling and whatever, then you get all these distortions that happen, and that's what I like. Because then I can get away with whatever I want to. And I'm just gonna... There we go. Yeah, now my water is almost as light as my snow. So we need to get some color into that. Just browns. Think of it like you're looking right into the bottom of the river. Because down here at this perspective, you're going to be looking straight down into the water and not over the water so much like you are over there. You're looking more down into it, and so we get some of these dirt colors. Pond, wet dirt and pond scum. And this would be like the contour of see this mountain in reverse? So I guess it would go like this.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
If your tree kind of grew and it's really cool because compositionally it looks so beautiful, wouldn't that, because it's so close, reflect into the river and more than the mountains that are so far away?
Yeah, I guess we could have it reflecting into it right around here, huh? Why not?
This is such a nice form there.
Thank you. Yeah, why not? We can take some of that into the river too. I'm just going to take water along this edge here, because remember the snow is kind of reflecting into it a little bit here, so I'm just going to take water and just kind of lightly go into the edge. And here too, we wanted this to be going kind of lightly. So I could take some of these colors, which are definitely a bit darker. I could just kind of, just throw them into the water there. Maybe even. Remember, the water's running, so kind of lose it. Maybe I'll do it again when they're a little bit drier. I'm going to soften this edge here a little bit too, because again, we're dealing with water that's not, that's running. It's not still. The harder your edges are in the water, the more still it has to be. Okay, I wanted some of those little blue reflections in the water. Like some of these guys, some of these just going like that. And then I can just lose those. And where, let's see. Yeah. I'm going to use, this is a dry brush with nothing on it. See? Dry brush with nothing, maybe a little bit on it. Got a little bit of this junk on it. See what that does? It just kind of makes it feel like it's coming at you. Like glaze a little bit of ultramarine blue into that water. And a little more ultramarine blue fences. Maybe a little bit more into the shadows of this. I think this shadow might be a little bit darker. A little more ultramarine blue into that, yep. And into here too, these bushes right here. And cast shadows on the ground. And just use water just to fade that back up into my right up into the bush there. Anytime you want to loosen an edge up, make it more soft and faded, just add a little water. We do have these subtle shadows. I can hear. See how they make little Z patterns? And they're not literally Z, but Z-ish. They're just like that. Little sort of Z patterns. Not much to them. And over here, you're catching more of the shadow. So this side's really going to go into shadow right there. It's facing more downward. Not too. And I have this kind of hard edge between the shadow and the light. Just take a little water, and especially snow is going to have a really soft edge. And we can take that color right down into the water too. Because the water is reflecting this, so. Like that. And over here it's more light. Well, my river kind of faded right up into that, didn't it? It's okay with me. Just another problem to solve. Okay. It's kind of all we do, right? Now, sometimes there's these academic ways to solve problems, and then you invent your own ways to solve problems. And there's expressive ways to solve problems. Sometimes you just turn it over to your intuition. You don't know what you were going to do. And I tell you what, that's what I do when I can't figure anything else out. Sometimes I just do it anyway, but I mean, if you can't figure out a way to solve a problem, just turn it over to your intuition. I can't believe how it does it. And I do that with everything too. I don't just do it in painting. I have one advantage in that my father was a systems analyst, and that guy could solve a problem like you would not believe. Any problem, it didn't matter what it was. Well, maybe not emotional problems, but when it came to like a car problem, or plumbing, he taught me. Framing on houses. We built a whole addition onto our house. At 12 years old, I was framing and wallboarding and mudding and sanding, painting, plumbing, electrical, everything. And he'd show me, he'd give me the book and say, see you write in the book? Read it. Now what do you do?
Hey, Rob.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
Can you come and visit my house?
I know.
Take a look at the plumbing, the electrical.
I want to hit a good cymbal for that one. That was a good one. Yeah, I know how to do it. I just, I live in an apartment, and if I have a faucet that needs to be changed, I'm not gonna do that myself. I know what my back feels like after I'm done doing that job. So see, I'm hitting a little bit of dark at the base of this. A little dark. So yeah, he was the old adage. What is that? The Jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah. So he didn't master any of those things, but he could figure it out if he had to. See what that little dark edge does? See? See it? Magic, huh? See, we've been setting this all up for that dark edge. And that's one of the differences. Is I like I say, I play guitar. I like to cook. I like all these other art forms. I love them all, really. But I've just spent my life learning one, just sticking to one. So some people want to know it all, and some people just want to master one, you know? I mean, art, in a way, is a gigantic world. I mean, my gosh, think of all the things you can do in art. It's probably more vast than anything else, any other profession, or any other sort of vein. Just the visual arts have so many, there's so much to know. You could easily spend your lifetime learning all this. But if I spent my time doing this, you know, and music and writing, and, you know, I'd never be very good at any of them. I might be pretty good at some. I think I actually, you know, I was pretty decent at. You just make your choices. That's right, right? Well, little darks along the edges. See what those do? I'll pop them. Like that. Give them a little pop once in a while. Waiting for this to dry up. Oh, it's pretty dry now. My fence sure did get dark on me. Here's a little trick. Watch. When my dark's a little dark, I'm gonna hit them like that. And smack them. See? I just didn't want them that dark. Oh, that's okay. I'll just come back and... That's better. I know it probably doesn't make a difference to you guys, but I can see another value difference. The camera sometimes doesn't pick that up. And you might wonder why I didn't have him as dark in the water. Usually it's not as dark in the water, but you know what? I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to get something a little bit darker in the water. And then watch, I'll hit that. I hit a few of those. And then I'm going to disrupt those edges. Because that's too much. That's better. Good enough. It could even be in the tree. Maybe some other darks in there. Nah. Never mind. I'm getting too picky. I still want to take some of that tree. We didn't get much reflection out of it, so here's another way to do reflections. Let's get the basic brown of that. So I'm going to use ultramarine blue, cad red, cad yellow, ultramarine blue. There we go. We could just pick up some of those and put them in. A little redder than that. There we go. See, it's kind of hard edge, right? Let me move that up there. It keeps sliding because of the metal clamps on this plastic. So, now, just take water along the edge, see? That's about all you need. And just let the water do the rest. Pull way off over here. Squigglies. And just like everything else, You'll want some darks at the base of things, so like we did it here, little darks at the base. Yeah. That's where it's gonna be. So I'll just hit a couple little darks down there, maybe a little bit bluer. And then just a little bit of water around the edges so it's not such a tight edge. Lightening these up a little bit more. You know what we could do too is, well, now this is the painting you can use some white in. Now I got a new white. I got this Holbein. Look how big the tube is. Isn't that giant? Holbein gouache. This is titanium, and it is different.
Yeah, I love that, Rob. It's a gouache acrylic.
Is this gouache? Oh, it's gouache acrylic. I didn't know it was a gouache acrylic. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I used the same thing for a year. I love it. Yeah.
I just asked. You know, I get sometimes I have to get supplies at Art Center, and I can't go up there and pick it. So they have to get it for me, and then they bring it down. So I asked for white gouache, and I just looked at this and said, no, okay, it says gouache on it. I didn't know it said acrylic on it. I didn't even notice that. Huh.
Yeah.
I wonder if it feels different. It's creamier.
Right, because when it's dry, sometimes the gouache tends to be kind of gray at a certain angle. This one is shiny white.
Yeah.
It doesn't turn kind of matte. It's more glossy. Yeah.
Well,
I love it. Yeah, I use that.
I like it.
It was I inherited from my daughter. She took a design class or something. I left over. I loved it since. Yeah.
Art in the family.
Yeah.
So we could take some of these little lights over here like this, pull them over. I don't know if you wanted to introduce some of those. I mean, painting around all this stuff like I just think that would be crazy. I guess maybe you could take that mascoid. So we could hit them like that, and then we could come back and just glaze over into them. Something like that. You could even put anything you wanted to do. Any of that stuff. I'm going to take a little bit on my fence post here. Plus, I wanted them to be a little less distinctive, so see what I'm doing? Just dry brushing over them. Put a little snow on them. And it's not necessarily a watercolor class anyway, is it?
I have a question.
Yes.
When you're using the gouache, do you use a special brush, or do you just?
I'm just using the same brush.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Same brush. Now this is an acrylic brush. We gotta make sure that it doesn't dry on there. But that's never really been a problem. I pretty much clean my brushes. So I could come back over some of this if I wanted to bring some of the snow back. See? Some of that little edge. I could do a little of that. Just kind of dry brushing it on there. I mean, there's just all kinds of ways. Wow, I didn't even think about this. I could, there's a little bits of frost on here. I could probably just hit a little bit on there. Like that. A little frost on there. If it gets too white, I'll just hit a little bit of shadow on it. I mean, a lot of it will be in shadow anyway, so I'll just, when it dries along with these, I'll just hit a little bit of blue shadows. Oh, this is just looking like the winter wonderland, isn't it? Wow. I love it. Could I use it as a cloud too? I sure can. Just something kind of cloudish. Take it into my water. And then soften. And sometimes there's little rocks and things down into the bottom. People can get really carried away with their water. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, water is, it's just another one of those things that you can't stop looking at, right? It makes me right now, I want to go like sit by a little stream and just like take a nap. Look at it and just fall asleep. I think this is, so I'm just gonna hit a couple shadows on there, see, like that. So it's not everything's in the light. I even cast a little bit of a shadow on the ground there. And I was gonna hit a couple of them here. If you do it before it's dry, you might have a problem. It might get mushy. There we go. And you know what's a fun trick? Not really a trick, it's a compositional move. But often, you know, there could be trees casting little shadows onto the snow like that. See, it's not a big move, but it makes a difference, and it kind of closes the corner off a little bit. You could bring them right over the water here, and maybe up to the other side. See, very gentle, very gentle. They're not big moves, but it's one of my favorites. I love to look at shadows across the water. Now this wouldn't go into shadow here. There we go. Because this was already in shadow, so it just got this sort of fades into it. And then you get these little guys, which this is still wet. That's fine. And these little cat shadows over here, possibly. Not great. Not a big move, but it's just sort of a closer, you know, kind of a I bid you farewell. Here we go. Just a couple more. That's all. That's it. Stop, Rob. Stop before you ruin it. Just stop. Maybe a couple little things along the edge there. He's looking good. I lost a little bit of my reflection here. I can just hit it back, see? Just a little white in there. There we go. Now I'm just goofing around. Did sort of lose my mountain in the background there. I'm going to take a couple, just a couple of colors from the mountain in there and throw it in. Lights. That did something. I just went a little harder with that edge so it would kind of mimic that edge. So that goes that way, so this would go this way. Oh boy, that's fun. Oh boy. Maybe I was thinking about putting a white tree back here, huh? Maybe a little something. I'm trying not to use too much that white because I don't want to kill all my transparency, but at the same time, you gotta go with what you like. Here we go. Right in there. Just a little more overlapping. Yeah, I want to get up to that snow and paint me some snow. You were right up there, Henry. You got right up into that snow. And then I'm sure it's all melted off about, well, easily the next day, I'm sure. All right, that was fun.
That's beautiful, Rob.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun. So, in general, with watercolor, the white is for accents, you know, just accents, that's all. Okay, let's see now. We're looking at my mail over here. Already got 7. I know it was kind of a fast painting, wasn't it? Oh, whoops, here's that phone. There's Joe. Let me get Joe up there. Oops. Oh. Oh, you sent it to me too? Okay. Okay, so Louisa would be the first one. Let me screen share. All right, Louisa, can we see? Can you see?
I can see. I forgot to set it in a larger size, but I guess it's okay. Yeah.
What do you mean a larger size? It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see now. Sorry.
Or can you choke?
No, and it's. I hate that when it happens. Okay. All right. We've got. I like how you group these trees. I love your sort of lavender water.
Yeah, it was an
Great
after.
choice. I like that choice. And see, the mountains do feel further away. All right. Now, one thing I might do is, let's see here. Small thing. Let's see how this line right here is kind of hard.
Yeah.
In between. So I would soften that. Just wet it and maybe, because it feels so far away, I might soften that.
Okay.
And but your trees, see how you do your trees? You got the 1, 2, 3, 4. You have all these layers, and it makes them feel like they're moving back in space.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Willful.
easy. What was that?
I said that was willful. Are you saying that was okay to do that?
No, you have to do it all over. All over. No, I'm just joking. No, that's very effective.
Okay.
So did you lay it in light first and then go over it darker, or did you just kind of do it all at once?
I did put several colors to start with, so there was variety. But then after it was dry, I added more.
Yeah.
And yeah, especially at the base. And then it was too bright, so then I added a little red to grade them.
Yeah. Well, that's an effective move. Now, this might be a little dark for being that far away, so I could see lightening that up too. And just dampen it and stamp it. I like your sky.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was fun.
But the sky and the mountains are, well, there's some blue in the sky, so it's effective because it seems like they're the same in the background there.
So do you think maybe you should have got a little lighter with this, or what do you mean?
Not sure how to distinguish between the sky and mountain, but they seem to be of equal value. And,
Yeah.
But maybe that's all right, so.
They can do that. I think what's distinguished is the hard edges of the mountain and the soft edges of the sky. That's where I'm distinguishing, because you are getting a lot of the same values. So I think if you could just dampen that and stamp it a little bit on the top, and you might get a little more contrast there.
Okay.
Now look at this. See, we have this angle right here, right at the top of your trees.
Yeah.
So I would just scruff a few little dry brush marks over the tree like that. That's all.
Yeah.
It happens to me. I can't believe how many times I look at my paintings and go, I tell everybody not to do that.
Yeah.
And it's not it's not necessarily wrong or anything, but it's something to know about. Something to know about. I think it'll look a little less. It'll look more like the trees are out front. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not entirely satisfied with those trees. The one on the right, I did very quickly and lots of color and lots of water, and I was happy about that, and I stopped touching it. But the one on the left, I tried to create perhaps an impression of snow on the lower leaves, the lower branches on the right.
Did you use white on them?
No, I pulled.
Take a glaze of blue, some blue over it first, and knock them back, because you can always use the white to bring it back up, okay? Well, let's see, do that maybe kind of a blue-gray. And then what you can do is slowly walk it up. Well, that's pretty bright. But slowly, lightly, I can't get this any lighter than that. Hit some more with a dry brush. And just think of it as like the snow is just coming over the pine boughs, like on the tops.
Right.
And you want them overlapping each other once in a while like that. You know, just overlapping, so they're not all the same stroke. Even though mine looks like all the same stroke. Mine looks like a bunch of worms, but I can really do it, I swear. So that's sort of the idea. I might try. And you know what? You might even like it with let me take this off. You might even like it with just the harmonizing glaze of blue on it. That might bring it together, because what's happening, I think, is it almost looks like you're looking through into the background. This white looks like you're looking into the background.
Right.
I think maybe you wanted it to look like snow. So if you take a blue glaze over there, I think that might harmonize it. Give that a try.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. You are welcome. All right. Thank you. And let's see. Let's go to Charlotte. Oh, I'm sorry. There's more than one, huh? Oh, is that your gouache, Charlotte? Let's see what that is. Oh, that's, you use gesso, huh?
Well, I wanted a big tube, and so I finally found one instead of using gesso.
Wait a second. That is gouache.
Yeah.
How big is that?
It's really big. It's about maybe 7 inches, and it's just fabulous. Because the other one I bought a little tiny one, and it was $10 in Holbein.
Does this cover?
I haven't even used it yet. I just got it in the mail.
Oh, we'll see.
Share it because it's really a large container, seeing that we use a lot of white lately.
Isn't that always fun? Every time I get one little thing, I get like a little kid with it. I'm like, oh, I gotta try this. You know, it's so funny. That's what's important. You have to keep switching things up and mixing materials, and maybe try getting a new palette or a new brush or just whatever you can, just to get it.
That's very good.
Yeah. All right. That's pretty big.
Well, it's the long and thin ones that I like to do.
Yeah, this landscape does lend itself that way, yes.
I'm not happy with my posts. I think I may wipe them out and redo them more like the way you did your posts.
A little dark, yeah. Now, is this on a block, or is this, you just cut this and mount it?
No, it's on a block.
Wow, they make blocks that big? Wow.
It's on a block that is 6 inches by 18 inches.
Oh, okay. I thought this was like 10 inches tall by 30 inches or something. I don't know why. I thought it would be an awfully big brush underneath if it were. I don't know why my eyes were reading it that way. Probably because of the way you paint, because you paint so loose.
I didn't want to go with the brown theme.
Yeah. That's fine.
And my trees were like yours, and I had to wipe them out and wash them over because I wanted it to look more ethereal.
It does. I mean, I'd say if not for this background here, this blue in the background, you'd have more of an ethereal kind of look. But
yeah, I know. I just I wanted
doesn't
something.
matter. It looks good. That's what matters.
The posts bother me, so.
Well, then you got to do something about them.
I'm gonna put my new gouache on them and then go over them like yours.
Yeah. That's what I would do. Okay, we have our. I mean, looks great. Yeah, I would normally say put some darks into the trees, but if you don't want that dark, you're looking for a lighter kind of feeling, then don't.
I may make that line across the middle lighter when I start playing with my new gouache.
Oh man, it's perfect for that. I can't tell you. It's perfect. Yeah, I would take some light water on there first, and then, then put your gouache on there, not too heavy, and then let it dry, and then assess it from there. Because it dries very different.
I'm gonna do that, absolutely.
Yeah. It'll dry very different. It's so weird. But it's great for atmospheres. I love using it in the atmosphere.
Yeah, this is an atmosphere type of painting today.
Yeah.
But thank you for the demo. And all the see, and also too, we do so many at the beginning. By the time you get to the real painting, it's over.
Yeah.
I mean, we did the black and the white, and then we did the color, and then we went on, and it's like over. I mean, it's just so strange to do those value studies, which I've never done in my life.
Do they not work for you?
Well, I think I've been painting outdoors for so long, I just kind of see things.
Yeah.
Already, and but the composition is good to lay it out compositionally rather than value-wise.
Well, how does the whole class feel about that? Maybe you could let me know. Do you think we need to do those understudies before, or would you rather just go for it in the painting? We could.
Oh, I don't know. I like the studying. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
my studies come out more fresh, a lot fresher and cleaner.
I really appreciate them.
Oh, okay.
I think we need them.
I really appreciate it, Rob.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're very helpful.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I remember, I think in the beginning we weren't doing them, and I thought people needed a little more structure.
Yeah, compositionally.
Yeah.
The composition is the biggie.
I know, Rob, when we're out in real plein air, you don't do it.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe I should.
Yeah, or maybe sometimes and sometimes not.
Yeah. I could do some small studies or something. Okay.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlotte. Okay, let's see what I got. Michelle. Hey. That's a Michelle right there.
But it's a watercolor Michelle, though. It's not a gouache.
How about that? Even though I put in some opaque, well, you didn't put in very much opaque on that. Wow.
No, I didn't. So, yep, I'm happy today.
Very watercolory.
Thanks.
Yeah, your background, look at the very background, looks far away. You get the middle ground trees, and you pumped up your darks in the foreground and brought us to the foreground. The yellow in the water is an interesting move.
I'm not sure if that's okay. I'm happy with it, but I don't know why I decided to be yellow, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, I didn't even, I can tell you right away, it didn't bother me at all. I just noticed the yellow in the water, actually. But now, is this part here, let me see. Is all this here, is this all shadow?
Yeah, and I'm thinking that I just doesn't, it logically, I get that it doesn't work because it should be something different,
Pretty.
Yeah, I'm not unhappy with it, but you're right, that's not what it would be. I mean, I don't have my posts in there, really. I don't have...
Yeah, why don't you have the posts in there, Michelle?
I know, right? I actually pulled them out because it's like I get confused.
Oh.
I get confused about which direction the reflection should be.
So just remember, if that's going that way, let me make a bigger one here. So if this is going that way, then that'll be kind of going that way. Just the opposite. I know, and I get confused. I do the same thing. I go, wait, what's going on here? So like if this right here were in there, then you might have something in here like that, or maybe like that.
Yes.
Possibly.
Yes.
So
it's when I'm making it, and when we're making it up like this, or we're combining photos, it's just kind of get lost about what should be there.
They're easy. Very easy to put in at this point.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, you don't have to, because it is a pretty color, and I really like that. So that's sort of, that's what I call a sacrifice in a painting. I'll sacrifice a reflection because I like the beauty of a color, or I'll sacrifice the beauty of the color for the reflection, just because I feel like I have to put it in there, and then I ruin the painting. No, no. Totally up to you.
That's what it would be. Yeah. I'm not sure I'm happy with that shadow where you just had the cursor, the one from the tree on the left, but I don't know why on the water.
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't bother me at all.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. This area right here, I think, is a really tight edge. I might soften that.
Okay. Yeah, because it's awfully far away. Yes. Okay.
I just mean, I'm just thinking, because of focal point issues and whatever, I think I might, very, very simple, soften, you're done.
Yep.
Anyway, nice color, nice arrangement, nice depth. I love that you went with these golden colors over here and these cooler colors over here.
Well, in the fall, that tree is really bright orange, and it doesn't show up in this photo, but it's just really, really, not orange, yellow, that golden yellow that cottonwoods get.
Wow. That's fun.
Anyways.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
Oh, good for you. I'm glad you got watercolors on it.
Woohoo! Watercolor today. Woohoo!
Hey, you know what? It's a big move. I mean, it really is. I mean, sometimes we might think, well, it's just watercolor. Hey, you know what? It's what we do. It's a big deal. Give yourself a pat on the head.
Yeah, okay. Like I said, I want to be able to choose. Like, okay, this scene needed watercolor for me because of the snow. So yeah. Okay. No, great. Thanks, Rob.
Yep. Me too. I remember last week too. You were wanting to do that, so that's a big deal. Waiting, all week. Suzanne. Hey, Suzanne. Wow, this is a very light blue painting.
Lots of snow.
Oh, it is. It's a light watercolorish thing going for it. Yeah. I love. Right away, I gotta make the comment. Gotta make a comment here. I like all of your little sticks in this bush. Sticky bush.
I know. I got kind of carried away for far away. Oh well.
You know what? It's your job to get carried away. That's your job. You're here to have fun and get carried away. I mean, there's a process, there's analysis, there's all these little very analytical things we have to do, and then you got to get carried away. I love you said, you know, I really like this fence, and I got more fence.
I know. Oh well.
That's your job. That tells me right there that you're just letting your intuition take you. That's an instinctive decision. I think it works. It does give us more depth. Off to the wild blue. And this shadow at the base of your trees right here is very effective. Way back here. I don't even know if it was in the photo. I think the way you did it looks great.
I put that in kind of last minute because they just looked like they were floating. So I thought, well, I needed something.
There you go. That's the way you do it. Need something to ground it. Blue shadows, very nice. I love your warm trees. I mean, more blue trees, I think you would have had a very freezing cold painting, which might not be a bad thing, but I think the warm right there really balances it out. Now, what do you think of the edge of this? There's a lot of switchbacks there.
Yeah. And
that could very well be. I've definitely seen them like that. And if that ever gives you an issue, all I would do is just take some of the water, the color of the water, which I don't have the right color. Let me see if I have something. What's this? I don't know. You can just take the color of the water and soften a couple.
Oh, okay.
Here and there.
Yeah, so it's not so sawtoothy.
Sawtoothy, that's a good expression. I had to put that one in my little. I'll rip you off and call it Rob's expressions.
There you go. I don't think it's in Merriam's, so you're good.
Actually, that's it. I mean, look at your mountains are great, and you know you made those up. I mean, you didn't. I remember what was there, but I love how they come down, and you catch the light, and it goes down into shadow, and you catch the light, and it goes down, and then back here you're leaving it less descriptive, so we have even more of a feeling of depth.
Well, and I didn't know if the mountains were too descriptive in comparison to the snow in the front. They almost look like they're competing too much with it, but.
So if you were to do it again, maybe I would take this and just simplify it into a very soft, very soft edges. Or maybe you could do that now. Try to come back and soften these edges as much as you can.
Okay.
And see if that helps. I think that will help.
Okay.
Right, because you're going to have softer edges the farther something away.
Right.
Something is away. Nice bushes here. I like how you get nice and dark at the base. It's all looking good.
Thank you. It was very fun.
Thank you. If one just quick little thing here, and that's, I might make your post a little larger up here.
In the front. Yeah.
Just a little bit more, and then let them get
smaller.
One up here maybe.
Yeah.
But
okay.
The reason why is just to create more of that depth.
Right. Okay. Good.
Small deal, but okay.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Have Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Whoops, I'm sorry. On Katie, I'm sorry. Here, Katie.
Hi there.
This looks almost Chinese with all these soft edges, these watercolor edges, I mean these wet into wet edges.
Okay. Huh. I like that.
Probably because oftentimes those paintings they're not extremely colorful.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them anyway. All right, we got the dark edge here. Nice, look at, you got a nice reflection going right there. I see it.
Good.
Right there.
Thanks.
And that's because you brought the color, the value of the mountain. It feels like it's being reflected back down into here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's giving you that reflection, that pop.
Good.
And I feel like I should probably hit a little of that white behind mine, because that's really effective.
Yay.
Yeah. No. I love this little idea right here. You just sort of let the bloom happen. It just worked its way out into and I think that's fine. I guess that was the tree here, and these are the trees going behind it. I think that just works fine because, you know, if you put too much detail into something that far away, it just sort of detracts.
Mm-hmm.
So, nice move. And I might throw a little bit of shadow down below these.
Okay. To get them to settle down.
Yeah. Get them to settle down.
Yeah.
Maybe something like, because you're using, I use blue, but I don't know if you'd use blue in this painting. Not an intense blue anyway.
Yeah. Good idea.
And then now, did you make this darker to be a reflection of this?
I did. And then it sort of disappeared.
Right, because it was wet.
Yeah.
So what I would do is wait for it to dry, take some of this olivey green down into, let me see if I can, down into here. I don't have anything dark enough, but I'll just down into here. And then if it's too hard edged, take a little water along the edge of it, and that'll soften it out into the others.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And there's Claire. Whoops. Is your last name Sassoon or Sasson?
Hi, yes, it's Sassoon.
Sassoon.
Sorry, my dog is in the background. I'll mute myself and listen to you.
Did you make hair products before? I'm just joking.
I think the mailman is close by or something.
Oh yeah. All right. Okay, I could see. Anyway, nice. The blue is beautiful along these edges. It's really kind of an accent color in a way. Let's see what we're doing here. Oops. I guess I forgot to use this. And that's pretty. I could probably see a little more shadow in there. Maybe a little more shadow. I mean, if you can think of, the tree would be blocking a lot of light. So maybe a little more shadow, at least on the bottom part of your tree. You could have a little light over there. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe just a little. And I might use it kind of a dry brush edge. Something like that. And right, yeah, you cast that shadow, very nice, right onto there, very nice. Now yours feels like it's going uphill here. And that's just due to your strokes. I mean, not totally, but it kind of does. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's why I'll use those little shadows sometimes, coming across things, and then going across, and then sort of, I'll use shadows to give away the plane.
Yeah. I did not even see that till you said it. But now I can't not see it.
You can't not see it? Oh no.
No,
I said that the other day when I was watching a movie. Oh no, I can't unsee that. Oh no. Yeah. So those I just call them descriptive shadows. They kind of give me the plane.
Okay.
Like for instance, this might go like, you might have a shadow going dip, and then dip, and then dip. Just kind of gives us the plane.
Okay.
So they're fun. Again, I thought it was really effective when Suzanne came back with that blue shadow in the background along the base.
Okay.
We use a smaller thing here. So use kind of a blue something at the base there. I thought that was
Yeah.
kind of grounds. Yeah.
I saw that in the fence. I should have seen that in the next layer back.
I'm going to use it on mine too. I could use some on mine. So, see, we all learn from each other.
Yeah.
And I can see touch more shadow back there, possibly.
Okay.
Now your river will sit down flatter if you take these edges and like make this side flat and then kind of switch it back a little bit more here. So it's kind of going, it's kind of,
more lateral?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A little more lateral. Then what'll happen is this part comes out in front of it. Let me do it in white. This part will come out in front of it a little bit more. And that's a great, you could just do that with your white.
I see.
Maybe a little bit more.
Cover it over, yeah.
And use your own judgment on that. I mean, I'm being picky, but just so you know.
No, I see. It lays the river down flatter.
Yeah. They'll tend to do that.
Okay.
It's pretty darn good. The blue on the water is great.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, and I love all the sediment in the sky. That's great.
Yeah, I can't get it to not do that.
Did you not like that?
I wasn't trying. Well, I wasn't trying to. I think, it's again this hot press paper, and that's just how it lays down. And I'm not sure I like it, but I don't know if I can get it to not do that. Maybe it's the the ultramarine. Maybe it's that pigment that is more grainy.
Yeah, what brand name are you using?
I'm not sure, but I had it in tubes.
All right.
I put it into a tray. I'm just not sure which one I use. I have a whole bunch of like where am I?
It's okay. It could just be the brand name as it's more grainy. If it's Daniel Smith, it's probably really grainy.
I don't get Daniel Smith. I usually get either Cotman or I got a whole line here, a Grumbacher, a Winsor Newton, Cotman.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. It is, well, you've got a whole bunch of different ones, so. Do you have different color? I mean, different ones of the same color of this ultramarine?
Yes.
Well, you might want to play with that and see if, maybe take your paper and experiment a few times and see which one's grainy and which one's less grainy.
Okay.
If it's not that, then it's your paper. Are you using just Arches?
It is Arches. It's the Arches hot press.
Oh, it's hot press.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's doing it. Yeah. It's because it's resisting.
Oh.
You're seeing more of the grain. You won't see as much of it in the toothy paper, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
It's probably, I would say, I would still experiment with it on different paints, but I think it's your paper. You might want to switch to cold press.
Okay. I was just trying to use it up more than anything else. I bought it just wanting to experiment with it, and I kind of like it for some things, but
Yeah.
I think this one it's not as effective.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Claire, there's Francis. Okay.
The tree on the left, it was too wet to go back in and fix that so that these trunks and branches aren't so prominent.
Uh-huh.
So I know that. And then
I can see some glare on there.
Yeah. And then my river is not at all, I just didn't have time to go back and fix that. It doesn't wind the way it should. It looks really stark.
You know, it's time well spent to draw the edges of paths and rivers.
Okay.
And because you can see how things kind of lay down. It's definitely time well spent.
Okay.
But on everybody. One thing I try not to do though is and I do. I try not to do it because I do it all the time. But what I'll do is I'll make this side almost the same as this side.
Yes, I did that too. Yeah.
And then I'll do the same thing.
Okay.
And so what you want to do is just try to make them a little bit different. And you can actually use your color here.
Yeah, I can fix that, I think.
Oh yeah, you can just cut back into things. Maybe take a little bit here, possibly.
Yeah, it just needs to meander, and it doesn't. So.
Yeah, I know, and it's not easy. Those simple meandering lines aren't easy.
I guess I thought we were going to do the road, and then we were going to do the river, so I didn't do either one.
Oh, I know. So I guess what I'm trying to say is just try not to make one side the same as the other.
Right.
And they're not exactly the same, but they're getting close.
Yeah, they are. Okay.
That's something I work on. And I do it all the time, I swear. I painted so many rivers. And sometimes I just, boom, I get it right, and I go, wow, I can't do it right like that all the time. Now here's another thing is that this dark right here, this dark here is the same value as these in the background, in the foreground.
Okay.
So, maybe you could take some other colors into this.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's a little more forward.
Okay.
The green, the browns, and some of those good persons there. Look at that. Oh, just to make that feel a little further away. That got a little dark on you, so if they're a little dark on you farther away, just let them dry. Take a little white stuff back there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't the river have such an organic feeling?
Yeah, it does. I love this area right here. This is. I'm really attracted to this little blue.
It's very organic compared to. And I like the river. Thank you.
It does have a really expressive feeling to it, and that's the deal. I mean, there's the human part of us that makes things. It makes things the way they feel, because that's the way a river feels. And then there's the other part where it's the way it actually is. And so I like a mixture of both, but you'll get hyper analytical people that really like to stay away from that feeling stuff. And you get the hyper expressive people that really, I don't know about all that analytical stuff. So it's kind of all both. Now this tree right here, what I might do is maybe just come back with a little bit of shadow underneath it off to the right. Little something in there.
Okay.
All right. That's about it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. got your fence posts. I like how you went, like, you put your couple more fence posts up there on a different layer.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice looking snow.
Thank you.
Your water. Pretty nice mountains. How do you feel about this piece?
I like it. The only thing I'm not quite so sure of is the water.
So you want it to feel a little more reflective?
A little more reflective, and over to the right bottom part, it's kind of, it goes in a straight line. I think I should soften that a little bit, maybe.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, just take a little, oh, let's see, some, yeah. Some of that in there.
Mm-hmm, yes.
You're just getting this part right here reflecting into it, that's all. Even the shadow part, if you want to, you could take a little bit of that into your reflection too.
Okay.
Think of it like a mirror. You're looking at kind of a fuzzy mirror.
Right. Yeah.
And then these dark, these guys here. I take maybe a little darker in the water.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the water sort of lightened up. Okay.
And then make sure there are real fuzzy edges. I
Okay.
think that'll look very reflective. And okay, you see how this is all kind of one patch right here?
Mm-hmm.
I might take a little bit off the page. Kind of dance it around a little bit. I mean, just it's not in isolation. Now, unless you're going to crop it. If you're going to crop it right here, then forget about it. It's fine.
No, I agree. I just
Look like
take it up the page. It'll look good. Yeah.
More, yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, you have a lot of space in yours. I like that. All this big white area here, all this big area. It's nice.
Snowy.
Great. What did you say? I'm sorry.
Yes, I said it looks snowy, I think.
I thought you said it looks silly.
Oh, no,
It
no.
looks good. Now, if these are little sort of cast shadows or whatever, I would make them feel like they're coming from somewhere. So I would actually bring them from outside the piece into. And just drop them here and there. Maybe they're little branches or something like that. And you may even want, what you could do is just throw them like that and then come back in with a little just water around the edges, and that'll so they don't have such hard edges. And it'll just be like little kind of little branches casting shadows. You don't have to bring more to this side, but if you want to, you could.
Okay.
Again, I think I would throw a little more shadow on this side.
Okay.
Maybe a little darker shadow under here too.
Right. Oh, yeah. I was thinking that too. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think we're looking pretty good. The other thing I might do is soften some of these edges. Like as it comes into the light, maybe soften the edge right here and right here. Just
on the mountains. Okay.
Yeah, just with a little bit of water, let it sit, and then just you know, kind of dry brush water on there, and you'll see it'll soften.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll make it feel a little further away. That's all. Without destroying your shadow, because all we're looking to do is soften this edge a little bit.
Okay.
That's it.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have Ethel. Thank you for the river picture, Ethel. You've really got some serious overlapping going on in this piece.
I got some serious something. There's also some serious gouache.
Yeah.
I made my two little lollipop trees too.
They work. Well, they look like that though in the snow. You know, they get a little lollipop-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. The red water is interesting too. It does feel like, and it certainly could be. I mean, if the water level's really low, if it's only like 6 inches deep or something, you might catch a lot of the color of the dirt or whatever underneath. And I love the idea of warmer water on in a cooler painting. You really, that's a nice choice.
Thank you. I had a real problem with that tree line though. That kind of messed me up in a few spots.
Back here, the dark, you know, what I might do is lighten that up.
Yeah, I kept trying to lighten it, but it still got darker.
Yeah.
Other than that, I like it.
Other than that, gosh, I think you got a pretty nice painting here.
Yeah.
Do you think I don't even know if you would see a shadow under this right here.
Which is, yeah.
From the tree or
Yeah,
whatever.
I think I have, but it's very light.
Yeah.
So maybe I can pump that up a
These
little.
are great. These are great.
Oh, good.
Anyway, this is such a brave choice. I think that's great. I love that choice.
Well, I was kind of thinking it was also reflective of the tree, so.
Right, the tree. It is certainly. I mean, even if you like, something darker in the inside too might be another little change. You might.
Oh, that's
believe me. These look good, by the way. This area, these really looks nice.
Oh, thank you.
Really reflective. Really quick and easy way to handle some reflections. But I was just amazed by the overlapping. You're getting these are overlapping this, which is overlapping this, which is overlapping this. And you're just getting all this distance out of it.
Oh, good.
Oh, this one clearly. I think yours reads better than mine because you have a darker blue in the background, which is making your tree pop out more.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me want to darken my blue in mine. Make a mental note of that.
Yeah, I kind of like the darker, but.
I do too. All right. We're looking
Thank you.
That's nice.
Yeah. I'm happy.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice work.
Thanks.
Let me get Alice. Okay. The blue mountains in the background, that flows. You got your tree line here. Okay. Beautiful colors. I like your light snow. It looks very snowish. That's what makes it look like snow is the light shadows. Yet you wouldn't have gotten nice and dark under this tree, which I think really works. Really works. And you know all this stuff right here? I love little things like this. You know, it's just a patch of bushes and stuff that oftentimes it's just like that. I think it's a good little area.
Well, thank you.
It doesn't have to be hyper descriptive, you know. It's just stuff there. And then I like how you cheated this. You brought the green into the water. That's just fine. It works. You don't have to bring the tree all the way over here and ruin your piece. I think that works. That's effective.
Well, thank you.
One thing is, if you look at the bottom of this,
Yeah.
it's lining up with the bottom of this, which makes the tree feel like it's either far away or that feel like it's really close up. So what you can do is just a really easy solve. You just take your tree branches down a little further.
Okay.
And cast yourself a little shadow, and that'll bring it more up into the foreground.
Yeah.
You don't have that issue. Maybe a little bit of shading at the base of this, just a little, little something.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe some cast shadows. Here from those little guys.
Right, right.
So those can be nice. Shadow, the reflections are great. And then this sort of dry brush edge, I might actually wet that and smooth it off a little bit.
Okay.
Because you have a lot of contrast. Let's see.
Yeah, yeah.
So we could just to smooth that off a little bit. That's a pretty small little one. It's a very, very simple thing to do, and I think it would make a difference.
Okay. Yeah.
Other than that, I think we're looking pretty good. This
Do you
really
think
doesn't.
the edges of the river, they're not too symmetrical on both sides? When I look at it now, it looks like they're,
Not bad.
yeah.
Something you might want to. What happens is, I didn't really talk to you guys about this too much, and I should have. Okay, you will get a dark under this side, but you won't get a dark on the top. Because what's happening is what you're painting is here's a shadow underneath the snow. And at the top here, this is the snow on top of.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I would come back with a little white over on these,
Okay, yeah.
like that. And see that works fine right there. See? There's no line around it. And maybe there a little bit too.
Right.
So now it stops looking like an outline and starts looking like just a shadow under the lip of these.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So small little things. Let's see, just small little things. Otherwise, I mean, gosh, nice little piece of work there.
Okay. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you. All right. And we have Toby. Well, you got really wet into wet on this. Look at that. The background's just fine. Look at all that. I mean, if anything, I wouldn't even mind the background being a little bit softer. You could either use water along those edges, just use a little water, and then that's what I would do first. I would use water along those, especially like in here, just a little water, and then pat it with your rag. Okay. And if that's not enough, just a subtle glaze of some white back here. Not this much, but I mean some white back there, and that'll.
The white looks. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I got carried away outlining. I don't know
you
why.
got carried away.
Outlining those little mountaintops. It was so fun. I guess it didn't work, but I enjoyed it.
No, they do look good though. They do. Well, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things where if you like it, leave it.
Yeah.
Wow, it feels just like those Chinese paintings. Look at that. Like Sumi painting back there. Now here, if you wanted to, I might take a little bit darker values down into here.
Oh, great idea. Yeah.
Darker browns and greens and whatever. But I could see that. Maybe at the base of some of these, beautiful little watermarks there, beautiful. Maybe a little bit of something, a little bit of shadow.
Yeah.
Just to ground them a little bit.
Great.
And I'm just wondering if this would cast more of a shadow at the base. I don't know. It's really got a light, airy watercolor feeling.
Yeah, I like the snow. I just was like, well, I get to leave a lot of white space with snow. I love doing that. So, yeah, win-win, I guess.
And I love these areas like this where the watercolor is just leaving its own little mark, little watercolor marks in there. As well, like here too. I love this. This is a great spot. And it is a little dark, but you know, that's the sacrifice you make for your marks, your watercolor marks. They're not going to be correct. They're going to be wonderful though.
Yeah, they're fun. I like them too. I hate to get rid of them. It's a happy accident, I guess, or what have you.
Yeah. You ever notice so many of the best things in life aren't correct? You know? Just think of like things that are charming, just that are not correct. But they are charming. Yeah. What were you going to say?
Well, I just something that I couldn't figure out exactly how to do, and I noticed you've been putting some good pointers for everybody on that bank. Those banks, well, mine just don't sit down. I mean, they're just the shadow, and especially on the they just don't read as correctly, and I think right in there. I need help.
If you hit a little lighter on the top, and then maybe a little bit more shadow here.
Below, on the
it kind of reads in a straight line, whereas this one reads a little more wavy. I would keep it a little more wavy.
Okay.
And then, so keep it a little more wavy. A little more deep shadow at the base. And then take that down into the water a little bit. Make sure you take that reflection down into the water.
Great. And then
I think if I were going to say anything, it would be these two. This area right here, it looks, for lack of a better term, Suzanne's coined phrase, kind of sawtoothy.
Yes.
Whereas this one looks really organic, right?
Okay.
So I'd go for more of the organic. You know, I mean, it's snow on a river.
Okay. I'll try and fix that area. Yeah, it needs help.
Well, you obviously know how to do it. So.
Yeah, I don't know why one side was. I have no clue what I don't know what happened there. But I'll work on that. I can't
tell you how many times a day I say that on my own paintings. What happened there? I hear you. Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you so much.
Hey, Daryl.
Yes, sir.
Oh, where is it? There it is. Wow, this one really is distinctive.
I'm thinking to put that tree. I'm thinking to put that tree on the upper right. I left room for it, you know.
Okay.
It might help the tree on the upper right corner.
You could. I think it works the way it is. I think I don't have any problem with the way it is. But so I'll leave that up to you. But I think it's just fine. You just remember, you might clutter things a little bit if you add too much.
Yeah. Get too busy.
Yeah, it might. Whoops, let me see here.
Well, I didn't get the bushes in front of the tree either. I could put those in, but then.
There. Yeah. Yeah, it might get kind of crowded over here. I like the wide open look of this. Well, you got it now. I would call this high contrast, high saturation, and sharp edges. What kind of paper are you working on?
I think the mountains need a little bit of warmth in the mountain, just a little bit, just real faint, you know, just some warm colors in the mountains, towards the bottoms of the mountains there. So it looks more like mountains, you know, just very faint. But I see it in the picture. There's some warm colors in the mountains, just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of warmth. That's too much, but I mean, yeah, a little warmth, and I could see a softening of the edge.
Okay. That might work too.
Some softer edges.
Yeah, just a white brush.
A little softer in the edges here on these sides. This side.
So you don't think it needs a tree in the upper right there, the branches?
You know, it kind of depends on how you do it, but I would put not too much because I think it'll just get too cluttery. Are you going to take it right over this?
I could put a bush there.
Is that what you were thinking?
Yes, maybe. I don't know.
It depends. I don't know. If you do like that, I think it'll be a little cluttery.
Yeah, that might not look good either. Yeah, once you put it in.
Fine the way it is. Yeah, I think you're fine. Your water looks good. Water has a very what's the word? Well, you know, this piece looks like it was done by the California scene painters. It has that California scene painter look to it.
Wow.
Very fresh and vivid and
thank you.
Automatic. It's the hard edges, like you're doing in the water. Look at that. I love those little trickly white things you put in there. Those are great.
Yeah, I was doing trying to get the tree reflections and the mountain reflections. Then I kept putting water and kept putting more darker colors, and I just turned into just a big. But it looks like the picture anyway.
I like it.
So you don't think I needed more bushes, then, huh?
If anything, maybe you could hit a little bit of something darker at the base here. Maybe those would cast a little bit of a shadow over there, possibly, and then down and over. I think you're okay. I don't think you need really a tree there personally. And I think I might use a little white, a little bit, just to create a little bit of atmosphere. Because that's kind of dark, but at the same time, you know, it is charming. I have to say, I don't know. Use your own judgment on that, but I mean, technically speaking, there would be maybe a little more atmosphere there, but it has that.
So gray those down.
California scene painters look. It's got a California look to it. It's funny you're painting snow. I'm sure they painted everything. I mean, we have the mountains right here. I'm sure they went up. I can't think of very many snow paintings done by the California scene painters, but I'll bet you they look like this.
I'll mess around with the mountains a little bit. Just put some water there, soften. Maybe just a touch of warmth toward the bottoms of the mountains. The tops still look like snow.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I can gray those trees, that tree line, I can gray that down a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I love these trees right here. These are great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Your river really look at that. It really feels reflective. Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We've got Marie. Oh. I love these subtle colors. Very subtle, and your perspective is very a little lower than it feels like. Let me see. Oops. I mean, anyway, nice perspective. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here. Yeah, because we got the 1, and we got the 2, and then we got this tree back here, and then we bounce back to this tree line back there. And then over to the mountain, and then mountain, and then that's what creates the depth of the landscapes, all the overlapping. And I just want to say this right away. This is to die for. That's a painting all in itself.
Oh, thank you.
Don't you think that? You got to be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I am.
Good.
That is really nice. Nice tree over here too. And it might, I don't know what it may be because you have more light on this tree and you're not all in shadow, but it's just something about this tree that looks really fantastic.
Thank you.
Anyway, this. Are you having any issues with this painting?
Well, okay. Like I like to critique myself a little bit and think about what
I did right or wrong. Okay. So the tree line in the back, right below the mountains there, that I kind of feel like I should have overlapped it to the left, going, it just ends there, right there. So I kind of feel like I need to just build it up there, and just so it doesn't just end there.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay, that was one thing. The other thing, that if I did it over again, that little tree along the tree line right in the middle, yeah, that shouldn't be in the middle. It should be over to one side or the other side.
Okay, but it's so it doesn't demand your attention.
Yeah, it's just light. It's just but when I brought it up on the screen, my eye kind of went straight there, especially since there's the opening of the fence right there, and it just seems like, I don't know. I'm just being picky.
I know, it's our job to be picky.
Yeah.
But you're really not in the center, see?
Okay. Well, it's above the, yeah, I know. Okay. Well,
but the other thing is that it's not if you were really demanding a lot of attention, I'd probably say something, but I didn't even notice.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know, I didn't. Now, one little thing I do, if I have a little issue like that, and I'm thinking, I'll give them a little friend off to the side, like a little guy off to the side over there.
That probably still.
It's not all alone.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's overlap. Maybe this one's more in the distance or something, but just something else, just to offset it a little bit. I'll do that but honestly, I didn't even notice. So.
Okay.
Probably because I was so blown away by this tree right here.
Oh, good. That's where I want you. Yeah. Put your eye there.
My mind.
The other thing, I did struggle with the water. I kind of just feel like it's, sort of, I don't know. It just doesn't look like it. Yeah.
So you saw me. I hit a couple of these little darkies in there. Whoops.
Yeah.
And not this dark, but I put them in there a little darker, and then massage them in, kind of do this little thing. And I think that might make it look a little more reflective.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's happening is that, because this looks like you were doing a reflection here, and it got a little too soft edged.
Yeah.
So what I might do is just come back with something a little. Let's see, what's this one? A little more pop in there.
Yeah. Okay. I see that.
This one's fine. Maybe a little. Now this one right here, I think I'd do it in a light blue.
Okay.
Because it's reflecting the shadow.
Right.
You wouldn't believe it. Those just a couple of little moves like that. It won't take very much.
Yeah.
A couple of little moves. You can always take a little bit of, I can see your mountain right there. Perfect.
Yeah.
You could always take a little bit more up there and see if that works.
Mm-hmm.
And then play with some edges, but just try it. I mean, I think that your water's fine, and it's for a little more reflection action, just a little bit more of that. That's all I would do.
Okay, well, thank you. Good.
Thank you. Yeah. Sheesh. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Henry. Wow. That looks like a card. I think you just made this year's Christmas cards.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
It's funny. This reminds me when I was in Idaho. There was all these deer running in a line like this. They were just running. There's all these deer. I'd never seen deer run like that. With my own eyes. I've seen them on movies and whatever. When you see them with your own eyes.
Yeah, I used to live in Northwest in Washington.
Oh, really?
In Bellingham, they're walking on the street. Yeah, it's a very north little town.
Wow.
It's just like a half an hour from Vancouver. Yeah.
Well, what's it called?
Bellingham. I used to teach a class there.
How do you spell that?
Bellingham. Anyway. Bellingham.
Yeah.
Bellingham. Yeah. It's the last town towards Canada on the just
yeah,
like.
You know what? I think that's where my my cousins just moved.
Oh really? Uh-huh.
He's on the border patrol.
Yeah, it's a border area. Right.
Yeah, it's right on the border. I think they moved up there. I think that's where it is. I'll look.
Okay.
I'll check it out.
Okay.
That's it, because I've wanted to check it out there. He says that you're gonna die if you come
Yeah,
up
that's
there.
where I saw lots of deers.
Yeah.
Or deer. The first day I moved there. The next morning I saw a deer in my yard. That was
wow.
Shock.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this, I don't know.
This is a moose, right? Or reindeer. It's kind of like a moose.
I would technically, I would say these deer look a little small.
Oh yeah. I was wondering how to make the proportion correct.
For them, I mean, to be that small, I would think they'd be back here.
Okay, further.
Yeah. So I don't think it matters. I don't think that anybody buying a card or something like that like this would even bother. They'd look at that and say, "Oh, I gotta have that." The people that are looking for something like this.
Now
I can tell you, as a salesman.
Yeah, there could be little ones like children.
Yeah. No. As a salesman, you need a, you know what I mean? You need a. Is it this one? You need a little red nose right there.
Oh yeah. Right.
You know, it's important. There we go.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Reindeer.
This one too. I'm sorry. No. I don't know what to say. This is a nice piece. Your reflections are beautiful. Wow, look at those. That wasn't his nose. That was supposed to be something else here. Let me get on that. Yeah, these are wonderful reflections.
Thank you.
I think you painted a few reflections in your life.
I just got once when it was my intuition. I didn't really think about.
Yeah, you're really good at that. You're kind of the master at that, actually.
Thank you.
This right here is wonderful. I love how you kind of dry brush this area. This is just beautiful. So, you know, when you painted lots of reflections, you can kind of use ideas, everybody. You know, you can use ideas from other reflections because we were making this up, so that's a good move right there.
Thank you.
And I look at the pink in the sky. That was a great move. See, you know.
Yeah, that was my question. I tried. The mountain was kind of clouds like purple, but I tried to mix the purple on paper, but I left the pink. I left it. I did add a little purple down the on the edge, but that was it. Yeah.
It's a beautiful piece.
I think the pink goes well with the white in snow scene. Yeah, it makes it feel a little warmer.
You put a little bit in here.
I have some purple there. Yeah, actually, it's not shown, but it's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could put more.
You know, again, you just want to soften so maybe. Again, red, yellows, and blues within every color field. So, I mean, when I mean subtle, I mean subtle. I mean almost a zero value.
Zero, yeah, the 1%. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little touch of those can really give a lot of accents to your snow, and it won't look so boring. But you're showing us how right there. A little pink here. If I had to say anything, maybe a touch of yellow.
Yeah. On the white. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. It's too cool. Maybe.
That's way too much, but I mean, a little touch here and there, very little.
Yeah, it will dry like a white. Yeah.
All right, love it.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
I learned a lot from the color theory from your class.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good. Well, I'm glad about that. Color theory is, I'd say color is my thing. All right. All right, right away, I'm just thinking nice water. Daniel, some nice water there. Are you there?
Yeah, thank you.
And it does feel like it's kind of going uphill a little bit, but there's nothing wrong with that. I don't care. Who knows? I love their mountains in the background. See, this is a great example. The mountains back here feel further away because it's bluer. And the tree line right here feels like it's coming up into the foreground a little bit more. So now what I might do with the tree line here is just add a little something darker, little bit of something darker to it, just to get it to come forward a touch more. And I just mean just a touch. So nothing near this, because you don't want it to compete with that. But just to break away from your mountain a little bit. But those mountains back there feel nice and far away. Nice looking, easy looking clouds. And look at that big old statement. I like that. Big old statement of water. And that's what you do just because you're painting a watercolor and you want to see the water do the coloring, you know? Yep. Beautiful stuff. Feeling very snowy. You have very light colors and values going on in here, and it feels snowish. Very snowish. Now, it doesn't look like you have a really strong, honestly, it kind of feels like this has got a subtle shadow in the foreground, and most of your light is hitting back here. Nothing wrong with that. So you don't need the cast shadows and everything up in the foreground like we were talking about. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, because of that, you wouldn't get cast shadows up in here. But you will get reflections. I could see, if you wanted to throw some of those little fence posts in there, you could. But, it's a small thing.
I was a little afraid of it.
Don't. It's working already. If it's working, that's where the fear comes from, because because if it wasn't working, you wouldn't have any problem throwing those in, right?
No, it just that's basically paper. The white. Yeah. I put it in the wash, and the first wash, and it looked good. So I said, don't play with it, dummy.
There you go.
Yeah.
It works. If it works, why fix it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love it. I mean, nice work. Some of these darks back here, I don't know. That looks great. I'm just trying to be picky here. I don't know what to pick on. Maybe this edge right here I might soften.
Okay. I agree with that.
If you're not using any white though, right?
No, I haven't pulled out the gouache. I got it here, but it's.
You could probably just soften that edge and work it. If it doesn't, then I might use a touch of white, but I mean, very sparingly, if anything.
Yeah.
That's it. Sometimes when this is fine. This is fine. If you do use a little white, then I tried using a little bit of white on my tree. I'm not sure it was all that successful, but
yeah,
it looks like you scrubbed out a little bit here.
Yeah, and it was working okay, not great. So I decided just to.
If it looks too scrubby, then what I do is I come back with little watercolor puddles and just puddle right back over it, and it usually looks like it was, he meant to do that, Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm playing the observer. I always play the observer in my head. What's he doing over here? I don't know. What do you think, George? I don't know. Sorry, George. I didn't mean to use your name. I just, It was the first name that came to my head.
I think you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, yeah. Nice work. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice seeing you.
You too. Okay, Debbie. All right, Debbie. It's a quick, simple piece. Love all these water spots on there. Are you using hot press? Are you muted? Can you unmute yourself? I don't know. Maybe she's not unmuted. Well, I'm going to quit this thing anyway. There's not a lot of crit here. Let's see. If anything, possibly. I mean, you got a lot of nice looking watercolor going on here. A lot of flow. A lot of wet into wet. Tree looks great. I might soften this edge. Or you could, what we did, they do have some of those white things being thrown over, so that there's another way to break up that edge. One of those things, if you want, or just soften the edge. These are a little distinctive, so I might just soften these edges a little bit. I think that would be fine. Like, soften those. And then, what was I saying? Oh, maybe along this edge here a little bit. Maybe a little bit of dark. Like some of these values and colors you use in there. Whoops, sorry. Got a big. There we go. Something in there. Something. As it faces us, you'll see a little bit more of the shadow underneath the snow there. Maybe little places. Kind of sit it down. And if you want to hit some of that reflection, just take a little, like the white snow right here, put a little of that in the water. A few of those. And I have seen banks of a river do this. You don't have as many switchbacks, and that's fine. That's your choice. Might want to try the Suzanne shadow there. Sounds like a dance. Everybody now. So, okay. That's what I would do on that piece. All right. Thank you, Debbie. And Betsy. Okay. Looking good, looking good. You tend to work with a lot of water. So the more water you work with, the more of these puddles you're going to get. Puddly everywhere. And I love the puddles. I should show you guys my early watercolors. They're puddly like crazy. When I first started doing portraits for jazz festivals and things like that. So I love the puddly edges. I could see maybe a little bit stronger shadow in this area. Even though the white is a light shadow.
Yeah.
I could see, and even, I'm going lavender. I probably should have tried some. I didn't. Some people put that in their shadows too. But here's like maybe a bluer shadow in there. And yeah, I see you left this too. So if you do that, maybe throw a little touch, just a little touch of it down in here.
Yeah, okay.
Things like that too. Maybe a little bit of.
Okay.
A little more reflection. Yeah. And then, let's say this would be possibly the value of some of the mountain being reflected back there, but I might go a little darker with your water out in here.
Okay.
So a little, let's say we got that kind of, and you're gonna get a reflection in here too, so I would probably take it like that. You get that reflection there. Some of that. And then maybe your mountains are in there somewhere. That's what'll make your little reflections pop a little bit more if it's just get a little darker.
Darker, okay.
And then maybe if you want to take your dark tree right here down into the water.
Yeah, I didn't do anything with him. Yeah.
Go ahead and feel free to get nice and. Now, because he's behind this reflection will be in front of it. So,
okay.
So maybe the tree would start there. And besides that, I think you're looking pretty darn good. I love these. I love when a water puddle looks like a water puddle, and also because we know it's probably what it is in front of a mountain like that. Why not just get all expressive with the paint? Because it's we know it's a tree line, so it doesn't need much more description than that.
Okay.
And then abstract away with the puddleation. I think we're pretty good after that. What do you think?
I struggled with the two trees.
The two trees?
Yeah, the one on the left. I kept layering and then trying to clean it up and then layering again. So, I don't know.
Now, which part are you struggling with the foliage? You're struggling with the what?
Yeah, it's mainly the foliage, and then I went in and I tried to put some white, like there was snow, and it looked really bad. So I went back in with dark.
Yeah, the white. I mean, the white. There wasn't very much white on that thing. So what you could do is just paint right over it.
Yeah.
If it's not working for you, just take your color right over it. Maybe some rusty colors or something like that.
Okay. And then the tree in the far, like followed the stream back. It doesn't separate. It's a little confusing. So I probably need a dark tree line behind it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, okay, number one, you can take the tree line back here.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that you could take some of the blue shadow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Okay, that'll help a lot.
Yeah, and a little shadow on the ground.
Yeah.
So on. Yeah. So yeah. That's
Blue
shadow.
here. Yeah.
That's shadow.
Blue here. Following all your marks.
Yeah, because they'll take on the color of the sky because they don't have much color of their own.
Right. Right.
Okay, and one more thing, maybe a little shadow right here for the tree.
Okay, for the big tree. Okay.
Yeah, and I mentioned someone else before. Maybe this one here a little larger.
Okay.
Just so it feels like they're flowing back.
Okay.
You know, a little further. So this one feels like it's 10 feet away from this one, and so on.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. George. Hey, you really went with those pine trees. Cool.
Yeah, that was Ethel's.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about throwing some of these pines down into the reflection?
I thought I did.
Oh, no, I meant like this one. Here, let's see. Like this. Oops. Here. You know, maybe a couple of those.
Otherwise more reflections.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
Okay.
Rather right underneath. So this one right here, it works though. And your snow shadows look great. They look really great.
Okay, thanks.
Now see how they work really well when they're overlapping each other? Like these two. These three, what do you think about putting something in between them? Or maybe the leaves come out a little further. Just a little overlapping.
Okay.
That's all I'm thinking. A little link in there is possible. Bringing them together. That's just something to think about, and we talked about in the other ones. Taking that, just letting to make it feel. You did it here. See what you did here? You have a white there, and then it goes into shadow. So you're not, in other words, you're not outlining this. So you don't have this outline right there.
Yeah.
Which will, so if it's, so you get the shadow on this side, but you don't really get it on this side because this is the top.
Right.
So then over here, I don't think you get much. So I would just take a little white over to that. Probably wouldn't get much shadow here either. Just take a little white, like right there. And the same deal. That looks good. That looks good. Yeah. Flowing back in space. I like your mountains. Warm-colored mountains. Now, see what you did here with the cloud you brought up behind the mountain?
Yeah.
So occasionally, I think that's a good idea, just to take maybe a little cloud behind a tree.
Okay.
A little bit more, just to keep that overlapping thing going. And again, yours looks like a Christmas card too. You need some reindeers. It does have a cheery kind of Christmas card look to it.
Yeah, well, it's snow scene.
Yeah.
So you just feel uncomfortable with those 3 pine trees alone?
Just a little overlapping. Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
Little overlapping.
All right. Well, the one in the front certainly could overlap that one to it.
Sure, it wouldn't be very much. Just a little.
Yeah.
You know, a nice clear overlapping here and there, just so they feel kind of joined. They're starting to feel a little equal. Like 1, 2, 3. Okay. And they can get that way, but just for compositional reasons, I'm thinking. And I think we're looking good. See this hard line right here along the back?
Yeah.
I might soften that a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I did that at the end to try to give a bottom to the mountains.
Right. And I thought you were using it to kind of link things together here, like a linking thing.
Well, also.
Because it does. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just softer edges. That's all.
All right. Yeah.
Looks very nice. It's very cheery. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. There's Mitsuko. Revised. Aha. Your water feels like, I mean, it's beautiful. It feels like almost metallic or something, like iridescent. That's the word. It feels iridescent, your water.
What did you say?
Your water feels like the word, have you heard of the word iridescent?
Iridescent.
Yeah. You know, it's got a kind of a sheen, like a shimmer to it.
Wow, thank you. I had a hard time the water.
Yeah?
Yeah, I thought it first looked like a road or something.
Oh, you know why? You know, mine was doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was because I came back in and I put these little lines in it going like this, and they kind of look like tire tracks or something, or ruts in the road or something, yeah. So, if that's bugging you, then maybe put a couple of horizontal things going on in it.
Horizontal, oh yes.
Or more horizontal, yeah. And
Right. Yes.
They'll get closer together the further they get away.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And blue or in white or blue.
I would personally just use this color right here.
Oh yes.
Yeah, kind of. I would just let's see. You know, you're kind of already doing it, though. I don't know. I like your water, so I don't know.
No. If you like it, that's fine.
I could see a little deeper shadow.
Deeper shadow?
Along the edge there. Maybe a little bit deeper. Just along the edge. Because it does get lighter up here. But like right down here, maybe a little in the blue areas or in the cool blue to gray areas. And you see how yours kind of feels like it's going a little uphill or a little downhill, I should say, because
second.
I mean, it's kind of coming downhill, and that has to do with the. I guess we really pulled the. It certainly could be like that, though. I've seen them like that.
A little hilly.
Yeah, it's just on the hill right there. Yeah, that's all. Certainly, you'd have to change the whole piece to do anything with that. So, I can see some shadows going across there. Let's see, this feels great. Nice shadow. I could even see bringing some of that shadow over here if you like.
More.
This tree's fine. Maybe a little more shadow on the ground here.
Uh-huh. I tried to deal with that tree kind of abstractic.
Yeah.
Not too realistic, and which I like it. But what do you think? Like contour a little bit. I did contour a little bit, and it's as if like it's like a fake. But I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just fine the way it is. I love how minimal it is. I was just thinking.
Minimal is a word. Yes, simple.
Maybe just a little bit more of a shadow.
Okay.
That's all I was thinking, possibly.
Because I don't really care for realistic paintings.
Well, then leave
I try to do anything that I, like put like style to it, and that's what I was trying to do with a tree.
Yeah, it's pretty stylized, but you do have a lot of realism in there too. I mean, this area is looking very realistic. So it's funny. You kind of go in and out, in and out. Which is I love that. It's like you're swimming in and out of different feelings. That's what I mean. It flows. It flows.
Well, but this one I mostly went along with your instruction, like doing it together.
That's fine. That is fine. Well, I love it. Nice piece.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Rob?
Yes.
Hi, this is Phoebe. It occurred to me that it seems like, as I watch these, there's some confusion about shadows versus reflections.
Oh. What do you mean? Am I...
Well, shadows, show where the sun was going, but reflections follow the viewer. In other words, they come down to the viewer.
Yeah. Yeah, so the shadows, so if the light's coming from here, your shadows will be on the right side.
Right.
But and I'm seeing right here, these are coming straight down. And then also what happens is that you get the squigglies too from the water. But yeah, you're right, on pure glass kind of water, you will get, but you're right, the reflections are like a mirror. If you could think of this whole thing as like kind of a mirror, Or let me see, can I get this thing? Will it do it?
I just noticed a couple of them had trees that were going across the water as shadows, and it's a little confusing.
I think I was one of those that I forget I get confused about that too. So thanks for bringing up that point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's water. Water's tricky. Waters can be tricky. Yeah, because let's say if I'm casting a shadow over the water, I'll come back. If I'm casting a shadow over here, I'll come back and cast it straight over the water, as if the water's just a plane, and then up the other side, and then over like that. Let's say, for instance. And the reflections don't even do that at all. The reflections are completely different because the reflections is a mirror.
Yeah.
Like if you could think of this whole area as a plane. So it's as if you're looking at a mirror, as if your eye is up here, looking at this as a mirror, and it's,
yeah,
mirroring things off over there. So it's not easy, and it's something you really want to spend some time, especially drawing. If you draw it, you don't have the color element or the paint element to deal with. You can just focus on the science of it, and then you can get expressive with it all you want. So yeah, you're right. There's a lot to think about.
So that leads me to a question then, Rob.
Yeah.
Say, for instance, that fence post was right up on the bank.
Yeah.
So the fence post would cast a shadow
yes,
horizontally, but it would cast a reflection vertically. Am I right about that? Yeah, that's a really good point, because unless I'm painting it, unless I see it, I wouldn't know that. But thank you.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that to our attention. So the shadows, let's say, would be going this way, whereas let's say, maybe this would. Yeah. Well, we'll just say that this fence post is casting a reflection here. Let's see. So now the reflection would be like this.
Yeah.
And it's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
It can be confusing. Actually, it would be the other way, wouldn't it? Wait, that's going that way, so this is going this way. Yeah. I'm supposed to know these things. Oh well. So yeah, and then oftentimes the edges get all kind of squiggly.
If the water's
There's another thing. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, it's a lot to think about. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, use your painting to do all that demonstrating on.
It's fine.
Okay. We've got Lynn.
Oh, can you go to Lynn, the revised 2? I don't know if that's one you got.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. It's hard to tell when it's so little.
Yeah. Oh, pretty.
Oh, wow, thanks. Well, I realized I don't have the shadow of the tree or a reflection of the tree very well in the water. Either one.
Yeah, this feels like a shadow right here, so it feels pretty shadowish.
Okay, good.
So if you want to, you could make it more distinctive, but I think it's fine. It almost feels like you brought it over here too, which is just fine with me. It just feels faint, and that's just fine. It's watercolor. So now if you wanted more distinctive edges with your tree here, I don't know, it's pretty dark already, so I don't know if I go any darker with that. It's fine with me. I don't have a problem with it. Gosh, I cannot get the right thing here. could hit some of those in there possibly. Something like that, if you like.
Oh, good.
And then if you come back with a little bit of like blue lavender right in here. You know, for this bank right here, so I'd be reflecting that.
Yes.
And I do it here too, and there a little bit, and then maybe I come back with a little bit. I mean, that's too much, but let me hit that first, and then gray it down, just so it feels like you have a little bit of a reflection in the water.
Very nice.
You wouldn't believe what those little things will do. They'll do a lot. Are you having any issues with it? It looks pretty darn nice to me. Nice tree.
Oh, well, thanks, Rob. I just, I lost you for a minute there.
Oh, that's okay.
So, well, I don't know. I think the background, in the picture anyway, the background mountains look like the same value as the foreground snow. I don't know.
Well, they could very well be like that.
Oh, okay.
Good. If you want, you know, your snow looks great up here in the foreground, by the way. It looks really great. I don't know. I think to set off your things, maybe, what if you think about going with a little bit more blue in your sky?
Great idea.
Now, this is dark, but if you did, that would set your mountains off a little bit more. But that's something you're looking to do. Let's see.
Yes.
Look at that. And then, you know, I could even see a little more blue in your water then. Possibly it would just faint. Very little blue in the water, but I can see a little bit of that and a little white. A little bit more white from your mountains in there. And then I threw in a couple of fence posts. I don't know if you want to deal with those, but they might not be there. I'll leave that up to you. Those are some things you could think about. You know, you did, I think Marie did this too. Remember she was talking about maybe bringing this tree line back here?
Oh, yes, yes.
So there's another thing we could think about possibly. I don't know. Maybe kind of greens and white. So just maybe think about that too. It looks great. You did a great job. Don't you think?
Wow,
You're
thanks.
happy with this one, right?
Well, I don't know yet.
Such an artist over here. We're such perfectionists. Anyway, I love your tree. This tree and this is really nice tree here too. I really love them.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I'm happy with those. Okie dokie.
All right, thanks, Rob.
Thank you, Lynn. And we've got Shelly. Okay, Shelly. Here we go.
Hello.
All right, nice edges, nice paint. Let's see here. Nice looking edges. Now you've got ice in your river.
I left it a road because this is version 2 in a very quick way. Just so I could get something in, because my earlier version did not turn out.
So if I were gonna leave it a road, I would think I'd want like maybe little tire tracks or something in it.
That's a good idea.
And then what you could do is just sort of, as if there's a light side and a shadow side to the rut.
Yeah.
the Rudner Road or something, or no. So maybe a few of those. Those are kind of fun.
That's a
very light, like maybe this value or something like that. Very, very light, like something like that. That'll make it feel more roadish.
Yeah.
Or eroded. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
This is a beautiful way to handle a tree right here. Wow. You just scratch those out or something in the base?
Yes, actually I did it. I added some gouache so that they had plops of snow on the top surfaces of the tree clumps. And it actually looks a little bit better, I think, but it just helped with breaking up some of that.
Yeah, that, I didn't even know you used white hair. That looks really...
No. I mean, I haven't sent it to you yet.
Oh, okay.
I just tried to send something as quickly as I could.
Oh, okay. Not bad. Nice work. Nice simple painting. You got your balancing act over here with this tree.
Rob, I had a really hard time both times with the wet on wet. I have mountains back there, but I think it's just controlling the water, I guess.
Yeah, you're just too wet. You gotta wait a little bit and let this dry up a little bit. Doesn't have to be totally dry, but you want it, dry enough to where this won't leak into it. And that does take a little experience. But you'll see, it just meant it was a little too wet. Now you can come back now if you like, and well, I guess you'd have to use white, but nothing wrong with that.
I liked your effect with the bushes back there bleeding in.
Yeah, I like
so
that.
It was very encouraging to do the wet on wet again for me.
Yeah. Well, you did that one nice wet into wet on Sunday too. Whatever, that architecture. Your sky was amazing. But yeah, maybe a little white in here or something. If you want to distinguish this, just take a little bit of white in between this edge.
Uh-huh.
Just a little. Let's see. I won't take much. Because this is kind of nice up here, so I might leave it. Maybe just tuck in a little bit of light sky back there or something.
Uh-huh.
Feels kind of overcast. That's fine. Certainly could be. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And did I miss anyone?
Hector,
there you are. Sorry. Oh, I went right up to Shelley, huh? Sorry, Hector. There you are. I love all this calligraphy. Now here's the thing. You'll hear me critique you. If you're doing, more realistic things, then I'll critique the realism. But he's not doing that. He's going for pure style. I mean, look at it. His shadows look like writing. Right in here. And he's going for style. So I wouldn't come in here and say, well, you need light right here to get the shadow to appear. I wouldn't do that. See? So you see the difference? I automatically will switch gears from style to realism. As I see, I'm just sort of intuitively trying to interpret what you're trying to accomplish. Okay. But he's not. I can see he's not trying to accomplish. Correct lights and shadows right here. They are. Hey, you got me. I got a lot of feedback coming over there, Hector. There you go. Thank you. Okay. All right. Then. No problem. And then. So, but it looks like, look at this. Everything looks like calligraphy. Even his light shadows over here look like calligraphy. The dark shadows over here look like calligraphy. The fence. Very stylish. Very, very much in style. Very much a piece about style. Organic. So he's pushing the organic. And it is representational. but it's not trying to be a total representation, you know? It's got enough. You know, it's funny, and I've talked to Hector about doing complete abstraction. He's like, no, I don't really want to do that. I want to represent things and in a more abstract way, in my own abstract way. And that is where style comes from. Oh, I saw a great quote. You know, I'll have to dig up that quote. I'll send it to you guys. I'll make sure I send you guys that quote. It's a quote from this artist named quote from Frank Arwach. Oh, and it's about style. You're gonna want to hear it. So I'll email it to you. Anyway, wonderful style. Love it. You've got you're like riding on the edge. You know, you're hanging on to enough realism, but you got plenty. I mean, it's not, the realism isn't intruding on your abstraction, and vice versa. The abstraction isn't intruding on your realism. It's a nice little balance you got there. Isn't that weird how you can all of this can just sum up to a tree, and this too? Wonderful. This is what we're doing on Sunday. We're doing on Sunday what Hector does all the time. Yeah. Yeah, Hector, I want you to push even more style on Sunday. I don't even know how you do that, but I'd sure love to see. Yeah, wonderful piece. Love your drippage too. This is really great. These really, it just feels so delicate and random. Very natural. All right, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice work, Hector.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Rob. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep, everybody did such a great job today. That was so much fun.
That was a great day, you guys.
And
Is this our last one?
We don't meet next week, right?
No, we don't meet next week. Remember.
Is this our last one?
Yeah. Wait, isn't it? No,
Yeah.
the third.
December 2nd is the.
Yeah, this is the last one. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is the last one. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, December 2nd is the first one. So.
The new ones, yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Have a happy holiday.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a happy holiday, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.
All right.
Thanks so much, Rob.
You're
Have a
welcome.
great holiday.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, Rob, what's Sunday? Do you have another class?
What was that?
What is your Sunday class? Was that